Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy, yay indeed. My name is James Petrogallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmy Westman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another crazy, wild, downhill, death-defying, gravity...
I was heartbroken for a second
You know,
there.
I'm going to say death-defying.
Yeah.
I know it's your favorite. You think I'm not going to say it? It's death-defying, Jimmy.
I like when it doesn't defy death sometimes.
Yeah. Well, there's always some amount of death-defying, even if in the end they die. I'm still going to say death-defying because they defied death at some point with their stupid behavior.
For a time.
With their dipshit time. Yes, that's some time in their dipshit behavior.
All right.
We have a crazy episode, a nice, fun, wild one today with a guy that you want to root for, and he just keeps fucking up. And you're like, stop fucking up. I just wanted you to, I wanted good things for you. I just wanted good things for you. I thought you deserved it, and now you're acting like a douchebag. So that's fine, though. That said, thank you folks so much for your iTunes reviews this week. They really, really help us out a lot. So if you want to get on top of that, we would really appreciate it. If you have not done it yet, please get on iTunes, give us 5 stars or Apple Podcasts, whatever it is. Give us 5 stars and tell us whatever you want. You're following instructions, following directions. It doesn't really matter.
The purple icon. It's
not for our egos.
Right.
This is just for business. Speaking of business, Jimmy, if you want to be an even bigger supporter of the show, if you want to be a producer, one of our hero, superstar, fabulous, amazing people, you can do that very, very easily by going over to patreon.com/crimeandsports or heading over to PayPal. You can use our email address, which is crimeandsports@gmail.com. You can make a one-time donation over there or make it easy on yourself. Just go to shutupandgivememurder.com.
That's where they're at.
Or you can follow us on social media. You can buy merch, lots of t-shirts and all the slogans and the sayings and all that sort of stuff there. You can do the donations through there. There's links. Most importantly, though, you can buy tickets to upcoming live shows for Small Town Murder, not for Crime and Sports. We wish there was more Crime and Sports, but that's fine. Small Town Murder, it's wild. Come to the shows. Do that. They're a good time. We guarantee you a good time.
Our girl in Houston is coming to that live show.
First show is in Houston on October 5th, and then in Dallas the next night at the House of Blues in both places. So these are big venues, so please buy tickets so we are not embarrassed. Thank you very much.
Come see Mandy Malone in Houston.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
Mandy
great.
Malone's going to come if you're a Crime and Sports fan. She's one of our very, very few that we have stamped with endorsed as a Crime and Sports approved.
After everything's said and done.
After everything's said and done.
Smoke settles.
Crime and Sports approved. We like her. She's going to come hang out, and we're excited to meet her.
Smoke clears.
Dust settled, and she's kicking some ass out there, and we dig her a lot. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But without further ado, Jimmy, we have a crazy ass episode.
Terrific.
As usual, as we always have. Is there ever an episode where we're like, well, nothing really happened? I'll always find something funny. It's going to be fun.
It's par for this crazy ass course.
And this one, speaking of crazy ass, this is an interesting story because this is a guy who comes from a place where it's like a movie. Yeah. Like he's the underdog, the ultimate underdog, and you want him to succeed, and then he does, and he fucks it up repeatedly.
Sylvester Stallone?
Yes. How'd you know? John Travolta? Yes, it actually is. Yes, he's being sued for harassment, I'm sure, by many a masseuse or some shit like that. But
or a pilot or a flight attendant, stewardess, whatever.
This is the guy. This is a guy who gets sued by fellow strip club patrons.
Oh.
That's the type of guy we're talking about here. Not guys who get sued by. It's that's the sort of thing. Like he hit me with something at the strip club, and now I want $100,000.
We already covered Anthony Mason.
More. No, we have more. There's so much more. It seems to be a pattern almost.
Yeah,
it's
weird.
almost a pattern that athletes hang out at strip clubs and get into fights when they're drunk. Isn't that weird? Strange, right?
Yeah.
Like we've said a million times, if no matter what happens to you at a bar at 2 a.m, it's at least 50% your fault.
You're on the hook too.
You're beaten by 7 people within an inch of your life for doing nothing. You shouldn't have been there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Why are you there?
And it's not a matter of you were asking for it, but it's a matter of, you know what? Know what you're doing.
It's like driving and you get in an accident.
By the way, nothing sexual counts. This is not a sexual thing at all. We're not saying that. Hey, you know what? If you're out past 2 and they rape you, I don't know what to tell you, lady. That's not what we're saying.
Why were you there, sugar?
No, we're saying this is strictly for men getting in fights in bars or women getting in fights in bars. We don't care. We're not.
It's like driving with no license. Then you get in a car accident. I don't care if it's their fault. You shouldn't have been there.
It's your fault.
Right.
Yeah, you shouldn't have ever even been on the road, considering you have no fucking license. So let's talk about our guy this week. It is Rafer Alston. Do you remember Rafer Alston?
No.
Rafer Jamel Alston. You may know him better by his street ball name because he's one of the And One mixtape guys.
Really?
And the most famous one of all, really, is Skip to My Lou. Remember him?
Don't.
You don't remember him from the late 90s? Just the most insane dribbling son of a bitch you've ever seen in your life. Yeah, street ball, New York street ball
Skip
legend.
to My Lou.
Skip to My Lou, yeah.
Oh, boy.
He's not a white guy. Sounds like a white guy. Sounds like, what's this motherfucker with an English accent doing on the playground? And like, he's killing people like, oh, who skipped to My Lou like a mother? No, it's not like that at all. This is, it's not like that. But, there's a reason for his nickname, but he's a very famous street ball guy, like one of the more famous ones of, especially that era. He's the most famous one of the, past the 70s and 80s when that was a really big deal. And, the NBA got a lot of guys out of street ball in the New York City area. But
are the guys in NBA Jam, are those real guys?
NBA Jam?
Yeah, not like the street ball team.
No, I don't think so.
Because they had goofy ass.
The fuck they going to give them money for? Just make up stupid names.
That's a good point.
But no,
just put an afro on skinny dudes and put a fat guy in there.
If And One had a video game, then they were real guys because And One had they would release those. You remember those basketball mixtapes?
Yeah.
He was like this. He had his own one that was a huge deal that really helped to popularize them because it was just him killing people with the dribbles.
Not just popularize what they were doing out there, but popularize a clothing brand.
A clothing brand along with music. Yeah. They really did that. You got to say though, for that time, they really did meld shit together to what in a package people wanted. They wanted that music and they wanted to see crazy shit on a basketball court and
in basketball shorts that fit you perfectly in the waist.
Oh, and then the rest of them are
fucking enormous.
Absolutely enormous. Absolutely. You could live in those things.
Yeah.
Well, that was because, honestly, the pants, there were little stitches inside. If you popped them, it turned into a sport coat also. That's why. They had to be bigger.
Yeah.
It was very, very...
You could unfold the shorts into pants, right?
You could. That's the thing. They rolled right
down.
Come
right out of the waist.
No problem. You could roll them back up. You could make a coat. You could make a blanket. There's all sorts of shit. Multi-purpose.
They were Snuggie shorts.
That's perfect. Yeah. So this is Rafer Jamel Alston. Rafer Alston. Born July 24th, 1976. He's born in New York City. He's a New York City kid. He's from Queens.
Okay.
He's born in kind of a tough place. And that too, that time period was a rough time to grow up in New York City because there was a lot of shit going on, especially when you're 76. So when he was 14, it was 1990. There was some crazy shit going on in that time period. Listen to any East Coast rap from that period and just that's what was happening.
Also, a great city doesn't become just a great city. It has to go through some growing pains.
Well, and
that was for certain growing pains time.
This was crack. If crack caused growing pains, this was just a lot. If you lived in a shitty area, it was rough because people were fighting over territories to sell their fucking crack because it was over, especially by then. It was over by the early 90s. It was too much crack. It was just too much crack. They were fighting over territory.
That's what creates pride in a town too. Is
crack?
No,
good crack sales. A strong crack business.
Surviving a shit economy.
It's true.
And a rough time. You don't see people from Denver usually you don't see any people in fucking Cheyenne, Wyoming losing their mind about
everything's usually fine.
There's nothing right.
It's about the same.
Yeah. It's
the same as it's
like
been.
This. Right.
In Denver, it's just like getting more expensive now. I don't know with that.
You don't see anybody rocking a Carson City, Nevada tattoo.
No, that's true. There's no pride in that. Like,
it's always just been the same.
That was easy. Right. I grew up there. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice, actually. Nice. That's what people would say.
Rarely see a Wichita, Kansas tattoo.
It's not bad. Yeah. Wasn't bad at all.
No.
Good school.
I mean,
my neighbors were super
food
nice.
on the table.
Boy
Turned
Scouts
on the
were
faucet,
good.
Water came out.
Never once got molested, so that was nice. Everything's coming up roses. Fucking perfect. Everything's coming up Rafer, and not Raper Alston, please.
Yeah,
thank fuck there's no sexual assault in this.
No kidding.
Because I'll tell you that right off the bat, because that was my one thing I'm thinking. I'm like, did he do something sexual? Because there's no way he wasn't just called Raper Alston. He would be chanted. People would have signs. He would be Raper Alston, even though he's not.
The New York Post would have a field day with puns.
Oh,
with that.
my God. Jesus
insane.
Christ. Everybody would have. It would have been crazy. So,
ESPN would have figured it out.
I know. So, you know what you know what we're going to call him. You get it.
Even after the Disney acquisition, they'd still do it.
Yeah. So, luckily for him, he didn't do anything like that. Okay. Nothing, not even accused of any sexual misdoings. So, it's possible.
Yeah,
who knows? He's only goddamn 42 years old. Got a lot of life left, as we've known from Crime and Sports Subject. 42 is young.
That's prime raping career.
Prime raping career. Well, usually by then, unless they've been raping, they're usually kind of done with the raping. But this is prime drug relapse type thing. Or he's prime for that. I mean, otherwise, if you get like a Tom Paine who's been raping from an early age and then he just continues it, especially if he's been in prison, that was time off his
Should we take
schedule.
a quick update time to update that boxer that got arrested for beating the shit out of his wife again?
Oh, God,
what the fuck
Jesus
is
Christ.
going on?
You mean Jermaine Taylor? That one? Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, that guy.
Thank God you bailed me out.
Yeah, that was... You knew that was expected, kind of. I mean, he had a rough time. I didn't think that one was over. I think at the end of that one, we were like, this isn't over.
It's prime for a relapse.
One of those where, that wasn't a Maloon ending where we were like, you know what, we kind of like her and hope it works out. This, we were like, this is not going to end well. We're going to talk about him more. But,
there you go. He beats
talked about him more.
Beats up women too.
Well, there you are. So speaking of idiots, here we are here. This not his fault the way he grew up. Obviously, he can't help that. He grew up in a tough time in a tough place. Apparently, his father was very much into crack. Into smoking crack, not selling crack.
Right away.
It would be better if he was selling crack. I mean, he might end up going to prison, but at least he'd have money while he was there.
Right.
Instead, he was smoking crack, which is never going to be good for anybody. No. It really has no advantages whatsoever, unless you need the floor cleaned now.
Yeah.
That would be the only thing, and quickly.
Or he punched a hole in the wall, and you need somebody to fix it.
He can do that.
Right
Oof, man, get him some spackle.
Right out of birth, his dad's a crackhead.
Not out of birth, but as he goes up, as he becomes a kid, he started, when he was 11 years old, he started taking the subway, riding around looking for basketball games to play around the city.
11.
Now, 1987 in New York City was not a safe time for anybody at all, for anybody to be riding the subway, including street gangs that are armed. Like, it was very unsafe back then. I remember as a child, when you'd go to the city back then, it was fucking terrifying. And I loved it. I thought it was the greatest. Don't get me wrong. I love New York, but it's so not what it was. I'm sorry. You need some danger. Yeah. I don't feel afraid ever. I don't. I was walking around at 2 o'clock in the morning, fucking talking to rappers and smoking joints. I wasn't afraid at all. We were taking pictures and posting them on Instagram. Like, this is fucking ridiculous.
2018.
I want to be frightened. Somebody mug me, goddammit.
Is unsafe for 37-year-old Jimmy, though.
That's just a homeless guy that you needed to ignore. He wasn't somebody who was like armed saying, give me your fucking money, like back then.
I didn't know.
Well, you knew. He would have led with that. Trust me. That would have been.
He wouldn't have led with spitting scrambled eggs at me.
He would have led with, I want your money. That would have been number one. Then he would have spit scrambled eggs at you after.
And then thrown a chicken bone at me.
Probably. He might have seen that as a financial transaction, though. He took your money, you for a chicken bone. Then he could technically, legally say, I sold the man a chicken bone and some used eggs. Technically.
Instead, the man has scrambled eggs and he's like a chicken's Holocaust. Like he's chicken Hitler. Yeah. He's a bad man.
Going down all the chicken.
I wasn't a chicken, so I guess I shouldn't have been scared.
No, you shouldn't have been scared. He was only interested.
But I was being a chicken because I was scared.
See what I mean? Now you're just not scared. But I don't know, he would look for games. Alston said himself.
All right, I'm
That's
sorry.
Awesome. No, it's fucking hilarious. I love that. I love the fucking homeless guy. I'll never get tired of telling you that you did the wrong thing. I'll never get tired of taking that man's side.
Believe me, I felt it.
I did.
When the conductor,
everyone was like, "This is your fault." We expect more from you. Are you a crazy person that spits eggs at people? No. So then you need to be bigger man.
Side, I knew that I had made a mistake.
Yeah. Well, now you know. Just ignore. No matter what happens, you ignore. Doesn't matter.
I mean, he was yelling at a woman at the other end of the train.
That's her problem.
And she ignored him.
Yep,
but I'm the hero.
She knew better. She knew better. Remember the Bill Burr joke about, ow, you're hurting my neck? That's that.
Fucking
I don't know shit.
Miss it.
Yeah,
Just skip it.
I don't know anything. I don't know. That's going on down there. I'm over here. Not my problem.
Ow, my neck.
Yeah, you're hurting my neck. So, anyway, Rafer said, God, I almost called him Raper, just out of, like, it's just easier to say Raper than Rafer for some reason. It's the P is easier than the F to pronounce. So.
My 7th grade math teacher was Mr. Raper.
Mr. Raper? That's bad.
Everybody called him Howdy.
I bet. Howdy Raper?
Yeah.
Well, that makes him sound jolly about it anyway. It's like he's coming in with a little cowboy hat and a vest going, hi, y'all, and his dick out, just out of his front of his chaps.
I don't know how he didn't when he decided that he wanted to be a teacher, be like, maybe I should go to the courthouse first.
Maybe.
And take my mom's name or
use my middle name.
Yeah.
I'll be.
Go with a stage name.
Thomas Henry. Right. There you go. That's my name now. Perfect.
It's very common. In show business, people go by their first and middle name.
Works all the time for you, especially if your last name is Raper. Not good for I can imagine an agent being,
not so good right now.
Not so good.
Now that's a really hot button issue. That's has been for about 30 years.
Yeah, I would say. So Rafer says, I quote, I would do anything to stay in the playground, stay on the court. You know, when you're growing up below the poverty line, you can be caught up and frustrated about where your life is. Mm-hmm. So he just, as a small child, he was looking for answers in basketball, and he has freaky skills from a young age. Like he was playing with the adults when he was 11 and 12, the adult playground games, which are tough fucking games. And he was playing these games and schooling people because he was that nasty. He showed up at Rucker Park, which is the world famous, like the most famous street ball court in the world.
Okay.
It's just the most. It's the mecca of street ball type of thing. It's where all people came from.
It's the Madison Square Garden.
Exactly,
of street ball.
That's what it is. And it shut up, Boston. We get it. I know you're going to say the Boston guy. They got so many times. We get it. The Knicks haven't won since. I understand. Fuck you guys. Okay,
but it's if you're in New York, you don't want to play in the fucking. You don't want to play where the fucking Celtics play.
You can talk about that. That's right. And you can talk about that, and we'll talk about the Yankees, and we can go back and forth all day. So shut up. Okay. It's fine. We're both good, okay? Everybody's good. Right. Understand? Good. Moving on.
He is one of those clumsy white folks. Congrats.
Yeah. This place was so cool that, like, while they were famous, like Wilt Chamberlain, Dr. J, guys like that came to play here because it was like you wanted to get your street cred. Yeah. That's how you got, like, you showed up there, and then everybody was like, oh, shit, even would show up at the playground.
Gotcha.
It's a different type of thing. It's really tons of really well-known street guys played there. You don't know this guy, so you probably wouldn't know them, I doubt. So
probably not.
Neither would people listening, so it doesn't fucking matter unless they're from New York and over a certain age, they're not going to know it. So, anyway, he went to Rucker Park when he was 11, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
His future head coach was there. His future silver-haired middle-aged white man, who will be his silver-haired middle-aged white man throughout.
Okay.
Here, this is his coach in high school. It's Ron Niclario, I think his name is Ron Niclario. He's his later high school coach. Mm-hmm. He watched him play when he was 11 years old, and he said, "quote The crowd realized, and I realized that what we just saw was not normal for a kid who at this point was 11 going on 12. So they were just like, what the fuck is going on? He was that nasty. At 14 is when he got his nickname. He was playing at Rucker Park, and they have an announcer. Yeah. And he does this little skip move when he brings the ball up the court. Where he does this little skip, and while he's doing it, he's kind of in this suspended place where he can kind of do anything with the ball.
Gotcha.
Kind of lulls people in to try to steal it, like he says. And then he does crazy behind the back shit. And
Got it.
He's insane. He's an N1 mixtape guy, and he does that shit in games on the court.
Does he
on
dunk?
The playground.
Or is he like the alley-oop guy?
No, he's mainly he can dunk, but he's mainly he wants to get around you and fucking flip that thing up for an oop, and you fucking nail it, and the big guy nail it. He's nasty, but he could take you to the rack in a heartbeat. But he was really nasty, and he did all this shit, and they said, look at him, he's skipping, and then he called him Skip to My Lou, and ended up being his nickname. And
better than Skip Bayless.
Better than Skip Bayless, that fucking douchebag. I've been lucky. People have been like, can you talk more about Skip Bayless? And what I've done with that is I've I've completely avoided Skip Bayless because I used to be a glutton for punishment. I would watch it and hate him and like take mental notes so I could be angry at him on the show. And I'm like, I can't. You know what? I do enough work. This is beyond. I'll research hours and hours. I'll not sleep, but fucking listening to that loudmouth, frosty-haired dildo fucking yammer on about shit that he has no idea what he's talking about just to take the opposite opinion from the black guy across from him. He can go fuck himself, and I'm fine without him.
So proud of himself.
I hate him.
Did you see?
He's
I know you saw it.
People tweet shit at me all the time, and I appreciate that. It's the only way I hear it.
The shirtless he posted yesterday?
You know what, man? You're 60
his
fucking...
hands, his arms look like gay porn. It's two veiny cock shafts. I've never seen such a vascular dicks for forearms in my life.
You know what, man? If you're over 60 years old, unless you're Hulk Hogan, keep your fucking shirt on. If you're Hulk Hogan, feel free to tear it off from your body and do whatever you got to do because that's what you're doing. But Skip Bayless, I want a sport coat on you. Not even a shirt's enough for you.
Collar it up, top button, put a tie on, and put a jacket on.
Botox frosty tool. I'd like to see Skip in his natural state. Like I'd like to see Skip if he went to prison for 8 months. Like with his perm and his fucking plugs grown out and his goddamn Botox withered to nothing or whatever the fuck he does to his face.
From the ramen diet.
By the way, I don't know. That's alleged. I don't know. This is all in my opinion. I don't know what he does. But I'm telling you what it looks like, and he can go fuck himself with his asshole opinions. This has nothing to do with his looks because I wouldn't care a thing about his looks if he wasn't such a douchebag. But I've said a lot about his opinions, and so what the fuck? Why not?
And he's got a lump in the middle. It looks like he has a sternum hernia. Is that even possible?
Who knows?
How do you get that lump?
Transistor pod of some kind. Some fucking. It's Satan fucking communicating directly through him. That's his communicator.
Can't wait till the alien comes out. I hope it's on national TV.
Jesus Christ. I hope so too. I hope it eats him. So anyway, he's by 17, he's a legend. I mean, an absolute playground legend in the entire city. Like any kid on the street, if you say Skip to my Lou, they know who the fuck it is. They know that's a street ball, the baddest motherfucker in street ball around. Right. So like that's kind of a cool thing for a kid in New York City. That's like
at 14.
That's 14 through 17. Yeah. But that was like you were cooler than almost cooler than the drug dealer or cooler than anybody else because you were. That was like the next best thing to having money, but having fame and being able to do something. And plus, then people were like, "Oh, he could play in the NBA." People were saying, but normally too, it's hard for the street ball guys to. It's hard. They don't get a lot of chances to make the transition. I won't say it's hard for them because I don't think they get enough chances to do it. But they have the skills.
They're playing by the same rules as the NBA.
Yeah,
but
it's just a different game. It's a different game in terms of they're not really running plays and shit like that. It's more isolation.
And the defense is a little more lax.
It's offensive minded, and this it's obviously not the same level of competition, but the skill sets are the same. And if you just they always think I guess it's the same thing with quarterbacks. They try to mold. If we mold him into here, if you make Michael Vick just stay in the pocket, it's fine. It's like, but that's not what he does, though.
No, he doesn't. That's not what he does. He kills dogs.
Yeah, he has to leave the pocket to get to the dogs. That's where they are, so he can fucking kill them and do awful things to them. And yes, we'll do a Michael Vick episode. Don't worry about that. So Rafer here on the whole playground thing. We'll do it in their own words. What do you say here? Why not do it in their own words? I think it's time. He says in their own words, quote, I think what made me good was that at any place, any borough, I didn't mind going in there and doing what I had to do to win a game and also put on a show. Then I developed a following. I guess everyone who was a Rafer Alston fan, I never let them down out there. When you play in the New York City playgrounds, you hear so much about this guy or that guy being so good. At a young age, I was that guy. And it sounds cocky, but he's not bullshitting, actually. Yeah. He's actually telling the truth. He really, really was. At this point, when he's a young kid, though, his mother is studying to be a nurse, and she's at school a lot. She works and goes to school, and so she's not in the house a lot. And his father is
doing crack
out in the streets. He's doing crack, so not a lot of home support here. Yeah. And he's got an older brother and a sister too. And they all begin with the RA, which we'll talk about those in a minute. But it's
what is that about?
His older brother's Ramar, Ramar, and his younger sister is Racine, like the city, like the town of Racine
in Wisconsin.
Is that
Wisconsin?
I believe it is, yeah. I think that's Wisconsin. I think you got that one right, Jimmy. Good for you.
Thank you, A League of Their Own.
Yeah, I was going to say.
That's the only time I've ever heard of that fucking city.
That's where Kit got traded, right? Yeah, I think that's what happened there.
Rockford Peaches and the race scene, nobody knows.
I don't remember.
Nobody
the race
has a
scene.
Fucking...
Fuck, I do know. I've seen the movie 700 times.
The honeybees or some shit?
No, fuck,
they were
God
yellow
damn
and
it.
brown.
Jesus Christ.
Race
yeah,
scene.
I don't know. The mustard packers. I don't know what the hell they do up there. The fuck do they do? The brat toppings.
The racine sauerkraut.
The kraut hammers. Perfect. All right. The kraut wallopers. It's the 40s.
The kraut smashers.
It's the kraut wallopers. They're coming to your town. Barnstorming tour. The kraut wallopers versus the Rockford Peaches. It's going to be wonderful.
Tuesdays, buy one, get one Frankfurters.
Imagine 9 picturesque lesbians mounting the field, playing a wonderful game of baseball. I apologize.
Why?
Sorry, you know.
It's hilarious. Why is it
I'm kidding.
It's just that it's rare that a straight girl wants to play sports.
No, she can play sports. Yeah. It's rare that they're as good.
Right.
That's the thing.
That's what it is.
This is not an insult.
Right.
This is like when Jimmy the Greek guy was like, black guys jump really high and they run faster. And they were like, how dare you say that? And he's like, the fuck did I say? Now we're all like, yeah.
He's right.
Yeah, he's right. And that's pretty much, we get it. That's not an insult. It's fucking, what it is.
Jimmy the Greek should be the CEO of ESPN right now.
Talk to a cop and ask them how they feel. Like, talk to a real, macho cop. Because, cops are way different. There's a bunch of different kinds of cops. But, the real guys that are, real macho type dudes who are like, I don't fucking chicks on the force. We don't like that. Ask them about lesbians. They'll be like, oh, they're great. They're fucking great. Fucking have them on my team any goddamn day of the week. They're the toughest people we have. They're fucking awesome. They work. Straight women, I don't want any fucking part of them. I don't want them backing me up on the street. But fucking, you get me a lesbian out there, boy, you should get my back any day. I've heard people say that before. And I'm like, okay.
The only time they put straight women in a position of sports in a movie is when she's the underdog kicker. You know what I mean? The one
she's Kathy Ireland.
Yeah. Exactly. In fucking unnecessary roughness.
Imagine if Kathy Ireland got tackled, actually, what would happen to her?
She would explode.
She would probably explode.
Her vagina would head out the tunnel.
Imagine the sound she would make, because her voice speaking normally was like stepping on a squirrel. So if you actually hit her, I think there would be this this exploding I don't even know noise that would just, and then she'd be gone.
Deflate out of the fucking football field like a fucking balloon.
There'd just be a lump of hair there. I don't know what happened.
And a Bud Light.
Some makeup left behind and a cardboard cutout.
She was a Bud Light girl, right? Or Miller?
Who the fuck knows? Some kind of beer.
For beer.
So anyway, back to nursing school, Mom.
Okay.
His dad was such a crackhead. This is fucking sad. This makes me goddamn angry.
Yeah.
His dad was such a crackhead that he stole Rafer's Michael Jordan rookie card and fucking sold it
for crack.
Not happy.
A crack dealer has a Michael Jordan rookie card.
So, or a shop bought it for cash or whatever the fuck. You probably get more that way than if you did a straight crack trade. I don't think you're going to get much.
You think so? I don't know. I don't know if you traded for. Well, you might be right.
Yeah, even if you get third value at a card shop, you're not going to get a third value in crack.
No.
And then if you break down what that crack's actually worth wholesale, you're really getting fucked. You end up paying $10. Getting $10 for a Michael Jordan rookie card. You got to think about the math here, Jimmy. Jesus Christ, think about the stepping on it and everything else.
Fair market value, all that shit.
Fair market value, cocaine in 1990, the street value there. His father is Richard Alston. He says, quote, some of what you heard is true, mostly the substance abuse. I had a falling out with Rafer. Yeah. So Rafer did not want his father around. His friend said that his main complaint was that his mother wouldn't kick his father out and make him stay out. Mm-hmm. That was the main issue that he had. Mm-hmm. He just wanted his father fucking gone, and he was an angry kid because of it, which if your crackhead dad steals your Michael Jordan rookie card and sells it for crack, you're fucking angry. Yeah. I have a friend whose parents had some crack issues, and a bunch of his shit got stolen.
Really?
He had a bass guitar got stolen. His VCR, this was in the 90s, so there was VCRs.
It's like you got to pack all your shit and take it with you all day.
He would have to lock his room up, and they still would find a way to steal his shit. He's like, I can't even fucking. I remember he was so upset. I remember I've never felt as bad for some 16-year-old kid who wanted to go to work after school. He had a job at night, but he was worried about his possessions being stolen for crack at his own home. So I always felt bad for him. Yeah, it was not great. So he took it out on. He would try to stay out of the house as much as possible, and he was just try to lash out like kids do, especially kids from kind of a tough household. He liked dice. He said he was a master at CeeLo, which was the game we all played in the 90s on the East Coast. Did you play that out here? You didn't play CeeLo?
We played just craps, man.
It's like ghetto craps, CeeLo. It's pretty much it's like shortcut craps. I'm not going to
craps with one dice.
No. It's still the same, but it's hard to explain. But I'm not going to get into it now.
All right.
But it's that's all we did. That I've seen so many kids play that shit for hours and lose tons of money and win tons of money. And
we played craps for like quarters at a time.
No, these kids would play for
day.
Like all the. It was crazy.
It took all day to make $1.
Real? Oh no, these kids I knew were playing for a shitload of money, and on the street apparently he did too. He said he made as much as $1,500 one night off of it. So I mean, you could, if you really got a good run, you could clean up, make some cash.
They played mix and match too, where you take $1 and you
mix
fold
and
it.
Match.
So you take $1 and you fold it long ways half.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So that it's like a V. It's not like
I see what you're saying.
And then you hold it, and another guy holds his, and one guy gets to call mix or match, and then you let go of them, and they flutter to the ground. And if they're both on the same side, that's match, right? But if one's one way and the other's the other, that's mix.
Are you fucking kidding me? That's a game?
That's a game.
Jesus Christ, that is pathetic.
That's how white people play.
That's the worst fucking game I've ever heard.
Mix and match.
There's no drama to that. There's no.
It's over
terrible.
right now.
Yeah, at least dice. Everyone's got it for a second. You're doing math. Everyone's oh yeah.
And then you double your money right now though, because depending on who wins,
it's basically
obviously.
War is what you're playing. Yeah. It's not really a.
You're playing Go Fish with 2 cards.
Yeah, that's pretty silly here. So, Rafer said, quote, I just had the knack for dice. To us, we were just having a good time. No harm in it. It's like a hobby, he said. Now, his older brother was running the streets, though, in a different kind of way. Rafer was playing ball, and he was shooting dice, and he's having a good time just fucking around in the streets, whereas his brother was arrested a couple times for weapons charges where he had loaded guns on him. And
Can't do that in New York.
His brother was doing his brother was running a different kind of game, and I mean, who knows what he was into? I'm not going to speculate, but Rafer wasn't really into that. He was more into basketball, and he had a level of respect from people because of the basketball. Like, no one's going to fuck with Skip to my Lou. Like, what are you going to, we can't see him play.
Right.
You fuck that guy up, we're going to be pissed at you. I enjoy watching him, you know?
And there's a talent involved with what he's doing, whereas his brother, I mean, any idiot can carry a gun.
Yeah, not to mention these street ball games, and these street ball teams are sponsored by drug dealers a lot of the times, and you don't want to fuck with their money. If you've ever seen Above the Rim, picture that, but way less shitty and real, and but that happens. Or even The Wire, first season. That's how they find Avon the first time, is he's at the West Side versus East Side basketball game where he's coaching one team and Prop Joe is coaching the other, and there's a problem with never mind, you're not going to fucking watch it.
They're feuding soldiers, is that what that is? Prop Joe and
they're like an Avon Barksdale. They're like the East Side boss and the West Side boss.
Real tough dude named after fucking makeup, is that what it is?
Well, that's his first name, but I don't know, he had people killed and shit. I think that's pretty good.
I'm scared of him.
I mean, maybe you put makeup on him afterwards. I'm not sure. That would have been
put some nice foundation on him.
It'd be
some
like
rouge.
Maybe it's Maybelline. No, it's Avon, bitch. Actually, it's not Maybelline. As a matter of fact.
Prop Joe, what is that? What's that nickname about? Do they
Proposition Joe, because he always would say, I got a proposition for you, because people would have a thing and he would always have another idea. I got a deal for you. How about we settle it like this? And
that is gangster.
He was a big fat guy who didn't have to fight. He never roughed anybody up.
Clearly.
Everything was about, let me ask you a question about this. Let me make a deal with you. It was all about
intimidating.
That. It is intimidating.
A big fat guy that you can probably beat the shit out of.
And he was from Baltimore, actually. Had a real good Baltimore accent.
But he's a bad dude.
Yeah. He's a bad motherfucker, but he just looked like somebody's big fat uncle. Big fat happy uncle. But he wasn't. He'd fuck you up.
Jolly Joe.
Have you fucked up. Yeah.
That's what it is.
He wasn't moving from his chair, but he'd direct other people that's the guy to go fuck up.
You'll feel pain on his behalf.
Over there. So his mother said his mother wanted to get him out of there, actually. His mother basically what they said was Rafer became very hard to deal with. His parents had a hard time with him. He was argumentative. He didn't want to do shit he was supposed to do. He was having a hard time in school, in high school. His senior year, he only played like 10 games because he was ineligible the other games because his schoolwork was so shitty. Like he didn't care about schoolwork. He wanted to play basketball. He was really good at basketball, and he was like, why am I studying this? I don't want to do that. If I go out in the street and play basketball, I'm a hero and all that, or I can try to get a D in history.
Andrew Jackson doesn't mean shit to an alley-oop.
That's what I mean. Right. He's not helping shit. Right. So his mother wanted to send him to Maine Central Institute, which is I guess a high school or a prep school or something, his sophomore year. And she said that later on she regretted that she didn't do that, but she let him stay because he wanted to. But she said, quote, because of basketball, Rafer had his own unofficial fan club, but when he'd come home, he'd expect his celebrity status to continue. If we asked him to take out the garbage, it was like we asked Isaiah Thomas or Michael Jordan. I love him, but he was a spoiled brat. So that explains it. Like, take out the garbage. But I had 26 points tonight and 10 rebounds. What are you talking about?
The royal penis isn't even clean yet.
It's not good. Someone needs to clean the royal penis, and then we'll discuss trash disposal. Then we'll discuss refuse removal. But until then, I'm sorry. This is fucking ridiculous.
You want a latrine cleaned? Oh, no.
Ridiculous.
Not happening.
Not happening.
Everyone out there should listen to Small Town Murder. Yeah. You really should, mainly because you never know who's next door. Oh. And that's the point of this show, really. You never know who is next door. You never know what's going to happen on Small Town Murder. That's what makes it so wonderful. The only thing you do know is that people are going to die, and we're probably going to make jokes about it. That's it. That's all we can promise you. We dig into these towns. We see what makes them tick, from local legends to scandals they may have had. And, of course, the biggest scandals of all, horrible murders that take place there. And we put our, what I feel is a completely appropriate comedic spin on the whole thing. And you know you need a laugh right now. So get in there, listen to Small Town Murder. Follow Small Town Murder on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Small Town Murder early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
Went to Cardozo High in Queens, but when he played there, he was obviously nasty as shit. High school kids aren't defending this guy with his moves. Right. I mean, these adult playground guys couldn't defend him when he was 11. Right. So these people aren't. His coach said, quote, Rafer wanted everything so badly that he had temper tantrums. All great players like him have inner insanity, an inner madness that they use to get them where they want to go. Yeah. And he said that he had that. He does. He has a crazy drive, and when he wants to stick it to somebody on the court and win on the court, he's a tough guy to contend with. He's got a really strong will, and he's tough, but he preferred hanging out in the street than going to class, basically, and which is understandable. I understand that. I could sympathize.
I went to high school, and eventually the high school I went to was a predominantly middle class school where there was decent kids there that weren't really how do you say it?
Not troubled
poor people, right?
Yeah,
it's
but
generally in the
generally
lower class,
not troubled. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Kids that grew up with mom and dad in the house, and all their shit was paid for.
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
but Mike Bibby went to school there, and he was,
NBA player for years. In case
if you go to
his dad
school,
was too, right? And overseas a lot.
His godfather was Julius Erving.
That idea,
and his dad is Henry Bibby, who was never in his life.
Yeah,
but so and that guy, if you've gone to school with somebody that's a pedigree of talent above everybody else, watching them play is ridiculous.
Oh, it's amazing.
First of all. But then watching how they are fucking pampered.
Oh God, there's another level.
This motherfucker would wander through the halls, like class is going on, and
he just pop his head in class, and people are like, hey, there he is. Isn't that great? He's so funny.
He'd pop his head into every class and be like, who's selling suckers in here? Because he talked like a fucking idiot.
Yeah, Mike Bibby does talk like an idiot.
He is dumb as fuck.
He is. He is actually, too.
He's the dumbest person on earth.
I've actually seen him in person at a pickup game up here, because he still was around. It was up in North Phoenix, and he was a fucking moron. He really was.
Because he didn't learn shit. Because during class, he's just wandering around every fucking day. Because everybody would sell suckers or whatever, like those big ones with the big circle ones. You know what I'm talking about? The big lollipops that took, I don't know, they were like $1 in high school, whatever. And they were for like fundraisers. And he'd just pop his head into every class, wander one, and the fucking security guard, hey, Mike, how are you? And he'd be like, hey, how are you? They're like, you can take us to state again, Mike? Oh, you betcha.
That's it. That's all.
Big fucking dummy.
You're like this. My friend who sold weed and worked for FedEx schooled him on the court one time. I think I brought that up once.
That's amazing.
Yeah, he used to play like pro leagues, pro in like some Mexican league and shit. Awesome. Like he was a really amazing ball player, and I don't think Bibby was ready for him. I don't think he expected that, and he was like, "What the fuck was that?" After a game.
I liked Kobe Bryant because he was the exact same age as Mike, and Mike and him were in the McDonald's game, and it was fucking fantastic to see Kobe get all this praise, and then he goes in the NBA with no college, and then Mike has to fucking stick it out in college because he wasn't near as good.
No, he wasn't. Not the same kind of player. No, Kobe's an athletic.
Yeah,
he's an athletic force.
A showman.
Yeah, well, I mean, just a guy who can jump and hang and do things like that. Like that, you can't teach that.
So exciting.
Bibby wasn't that kind of guy. He's a fucking point guard and shooting guard.
Right.
You know, he's
shooting at best.
Yeah, that's whatever. So when the mixtape comes out, that's when he becomes like a street legend. This is a little bit later, but the mixtape, which is the Skip mixtape, which was his personal one, more than 200,000 copies were distributed nationwide.
Wow.
So this was a big fucking deal. Like I've seen this when I was a kid. Like I remember as a teenager, I saw that. Everybody knew him. Like he was like across the country. Anybody who was into like street ball shit, but he was the guy you knew from street ball. One guy who was a player in Southern California said, quote, he's the guy that's the first tape that was the whole reason for street ball. So he's kind of the godfather considered of the modern street ball movement and the whole N1 mixtape thing. He loved it, obviously, because he was like a fucking star among that, his own crew, which was cool too, and his own people that he knew. Like in his neighborhood, people watched that shit and thought he was a hero for it. He says, quote, it was the time of my life. We go to different places and they treat us like rock stars. Talking about the N1 guys here. So he says that later on he knew he was going to have another dynamic to his game other than the ball handling and the crazy passing. Because in the NBA, that's the thing. They don't want you to put on a ball handling display for fucking 8 seconds before you pass it. That's not. That doesn't help anybody.
Clock, motherfucker.
Yeah, there's a shot clock, and that doesn't help anything. That's just fucking your teammates' rhythm up. Now there's a movement. Now he's got to run around for 8 seconds while you do that. That's not helping anybody. Like we're all moving together.
Every time Skip to my Lou has the ball, there's a 3-second call because this motherfucker can't fucking either put the ball up or pass it.
He's like, oh, no, wait, is he gonna? Okay, never mind. I got to be ready for it because he could be looking that way. It'll shoot out from behind his back at any point. So I don't know where the fuck it's coming from. We have no idea. He's just going to dribble for a while and then shoot a random pass out and be ready for it.
Behind the back.
It's coming to one of us.
And that's the thing, too, about the N1 stuff was that the shooting percentage was so low.
Oh, yeah.
Because it wasn't about...
It wasn't about hitting jumpers.
No.
No one was like, I'm open for a jumper. Right. Sweet, swish. All right, good. It was like the Globetrotters, basically.
They
was
wanted
their
neck above the rim.
Well, it was like for the entertainment of the crowd. That's what it was. It wasn't just for the game of basketball. It was for...
You want to win.
Yeah. But you want to do it in a way where everyone went, oh, shit, did you see that one play? And that was kind of what you were going for.
There should be a backflip involved somewhere.
Yeah. He said, though, that he tried to be like a steady player also. He said, quote, I was always breaking down film on players, going back in the gym and the park and working on things. And every time they said I couldn't do this or I couldn't do that, I went and worked on those things. So that's kind of what he was all about. He played, like I said, he played a little bit in high school, but his coach said he was screwing up in school and it kind of really wasn't his thing. But he ends up in a junior college in California called Ventura College in 1994. All
the way across the country.
All the way across the country. That team ends up, by the way, this team it's a community college. Yeah. This place, it was established in 1925, has 13,000 students. A couple of actual athletes from here actually went here. Brooke Jacoby, who played for the Indians forever, a baseball player in the 80s. A few other guys that Miguel Garcia, the fucking boxer. A bunch of guys, yeah,
How fucking racist was that? I am such a piece of shit.
Well, either boxer would have been just as racist, and that would have been right, though. So, either way. Also, a guy named Sun Ming Ming. Do you know who this guy is?
I'm not guessing shit.
He is well, he's a Swedish man. He was born and raised in Pennsylvania. No, he's actually a Chinese professional basketball player and the tallest professional basketball player in the world. He's 7'9".
Take that shit, Yao Ming.
He went there. Yeah, he's bigger than fucking Yao Ming. Right. He also went there, and the year they went there, he averaged 30 points a game. When he went there, he was killing. It's a goddamn community college. Right. They went to the state championship for the community college. Right. 6 triple D level. I don't know what the fuck. It's not 1A. I don't know what it is.
It's the reason we've never heard of him.
That's what I mean. I have no idea. So, he ends up going to a big college later on, but he goes there one season, and problem is he has a little bit of an issue there, and he ends up leaving. We'll talk about what happens there. Rafer does, yeah. It's pretty funny. Okay. Eddie Lau is a guy who's his best friend when he's playing basketball later on, and he becomes his business manager. Okay. He said he first met Alston when they were 10 years old, and they were playing on a church basketball team in New York City. He said that New York is big, but the basketball community was small, and he was a legend. So for him to go clear across the country, it was like a crazy thing for him to leave the place where everybody knew him, that makes a lot of sense, Yeah. But
when his celebrity status to him makes so much, it means so much to him that he can't even go in his own fucking house.
Yeah. So now he's going to go across the country.
Go somewhere where people have never heard of him.
In that community college, he's going to be the greatest thing since fucking sliced bread, which I guess is interesting because they're going to go. He's averaging 30 points a game. Right. Not that anybody watches community college basketball, but they might. They might if they
scouts will.
Scouts will. That's the thing here. He said that he went there to get his grades up because he wanted to go to a real school, but you can't do that if you drop out of high school. Right. Lau said, quote, "The biggest thing about New York is that there's a lot of distractions. The best thing he ever did was to leave New York and take his game to the West Coast, where it was also a different kind of game. It took it to a whole different level by maturing and getting away from all the distractions. It focused him," which we always say. That's why we say don't go home. Right. So don't go home, don't stay home. Right. It's usually bad when an athlete grows up in a place and then goes to college there and is drafted by the local team. That usually doesn't work out well. He's just too entrenched, and he can get away with murder. Yeah. He went to school probably with half the cops around. You can't do that. He's going to do horrible things. They're going to find women's bodies in his basement.
The abilities that he has are just they grow exponentially when you're the actual local star.
Yeah.
If you go elsewhere, you've got to grow it all over.
Yeah, which is good for you. It's good for you need the pressure.
I don't even like when they go to high school in fucking Idaho, then they come to Arizona, or wherever, and go to the college locally, and then they go to the professional team there, like Plummer.
Yeah.
That was fucking weird. I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, that was.
Tillman was. I mean, whatever. It's fine. Be honest. He wasn't. It was great when he was playing. It was awesome. He was good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like.
I hate the fucking Cardinals.
It wasn't out of control until he fucking died. His football career soared after he died.
Well, yeah. Well, like anybody. I don't think. I mean, you become more popular in death. I think is you become more known because then everyone knows you, not just the people who are fans of what you do.
Exactly.
They're like, who's that now? So that's
the amount of jerseys he's sold since going to Afghanistan is disgusting.
Well, people outside of Arizona before he left for Afghanistan, not a lot of people knew who he was. He wasn't like everyone in the league was like, oh shit, it wasn't like he wasn't John Lynch or anything like that. He was a good player, solid player who did a pretty fucking brave thing, I guess.
Insanely brave thing.
And then
ridiculous.
Bad shit happened to him, which was not his fault in any way, shape, or form, which sucks also.
And I'm not even blaming even blaming going to ASU and then playing for the Cardinals as the reason for that. I'm just saying I don't like seeing it because it's going to result in bad things. No matter what happens.
Yeah, that same going to the same place. Right. Yeah, Pat Tillman, actually, I met him. I was a bouncer at a bar in 1999, I believe. And he was
that Alice's one?
In there. No, it was Jackson's.
Oh, okay.
And there was a guy who was clearly on some sort of hallucinogen or something. Yeah. I would assume ecstasy just based on his eyes and the way he was dancing by himself with his arms out and his hair going with no shoes on and just dancing and having a fucking grand old time, not bothering anybody, being a fucking hell of a fine person. But I was like, what's up with this fucking guy? And then everyone was like, that's Pat Tillman. I was like, he's tripping. I don't know what the fuck he's on, but he looks like he's having a good time.
Looks like he was an interesting cat.
Good for you, buddy. I thought he was great. He didn't bother anybody. He didn't fuck. We didn't have to kick him out or anything. He did his thing. Everyone liked him, and he left. I think he had them there. I just think he took them off for a moment to dance, which, hey, good for you. Broken glass everywhere. He didn't seem to give a shit. He was cool motherfucker, though. Just seemed like a hippie, like
That's
a cool hippie
what
dude.
He was,
Nobody was like, "Oh, get him out of here. He's being a dick." He was just a fine guy.
Wasn't Jake Plummer trying to cop a feel on chicks?
No.
They're sitting at the bar.
Not at all. No. Did nothing.
No shenanigans.
No shenanigans. No untoward behavior of any kind. He came, he had a good time, and he left, and everyone said, what a fun guy. That's it. That was the extent of it.
You're going to remember him forever now.
Yes. So Ventura wins the state title, and Alston is kicked off the team later on before the next season. According to a report in the Los Angeles Times, this was because he dropped. This is amazing. This is a first. He dropped a weight, to lift weights with. Dropped a weight on the groin of a sleeping teammate that he had beef with earlier. They got in an argument, and the guy fell asleep, and he went over and dropped a fucking weight on his nutsack.
Oh, Jesus!
Which is a pretty dick move.
Yeah.
And you have to really fuck up a guy's... Yeah, I know. Sorry, I had to. Yeah. So you have to really fuck up a guy's nutsack, though, to score 30 points a game and get kicked off the team.
It's also kind of a balls move.
That's something. It's a little balls, it's a little dick, but yeah. You got a good point there. So, it's awesome.
Why? What did they say? How big it was? Not the dick. I mean the weight.
It was more in the ball sack area. I don't know how big his balls were, but even if it's 3 pounds, it's too much.
Yeah,
it's too much. Drop 6 ounces on your ball sack. You're not gonna be comfortable about it. I don't think.
I don't want anybody to spit on my balls.
That's what I mean. It's not comfortable.
That seems like it'll hurt.
It will. 1996, 1997. He goes to Fresno City College. He plays 1 season there. A couple guys, Rob Deere, the old baseball player who hit like 220 every year, but would have like 40 home runs. He played for the Brewers for a long time. I think the Tigers.
He went there too.
He went there. Tom Seaver went there, the Hall of Fame pitcher. Ted Lilly, the pitcher who pitched for the Yankees and A's and fucking 8 other teams. Sure. Lefty, pretty good pitcher. Tom Flores, the old Oakland Raiders coach. Remember the guy who looked like he was a casino pit boss that ran the Raiders in the early 80s? He had obviously dyed black hair and like jewelry. He looked like he was a casino pit boss that was for some reason lost on the sidelines.
I'm just seeing Bolitnikov.
And directing this coach. Look up Tom Flores, everybody. Do yourself a favor. He's a dapper, suave kind of guy. He literally looks like he'd take you out back, have you taken out back like Prop Joe, and smashed with a hammer for cheating in a Vegas card game. And somehow he got hold of a football team. It's pretty fucking amazing. So Tom Flores there. In 97, 98, though, he plays for them in, that was 96, 97. Transfers in 97, 98 to Fresno State. This was a big deal because Jerry Tarkanian was there at that point after he'd been, all the UNLV scandals and all that shit. He went there because basically Jerry Tarkanian, the coach, he's not one of these guys who's like, look, we get student athletes to graduate to have better people in society. Right. So they need to have good grades and do community service. He's like, I don't play fucking basketball. Right. Stay eligible for basketball. We'll cheat for you. Whatever it takes. I'm the basketball coach. I'm not the life fucking teacher coach guy. That's not what I do here. So if there's a kid,
fucking mentor.
Yeah. If there's a kid who has no academics and doesn't give a fuck about academics but wants to play basketball, he's more than happy to have him. These guys are guys who might have the talent to, but they're not going to Duke because they're just not going to do that much work. They don't want to. Right. So that's kind of why that's why Rafer wanted to go there. When he was asked what it took for him to for him to go there, he basically said, "Coach, really? Like, you're the one who doesn't give a shit about my grades." Right. Is what he told him. Like, obviously, that's why I'm coming here. I'm not stupid.
What was your sales pitch to get me here? That's why I'm here.
That's why I'm here.
You know how you said fuck school? That's why I'm here.
And he said, "Quote, when he got the job, I knew it would be a good situation, so I wanted to go there."
Or
like,
a bad situation.
He won't care what I do. Basically, that year he's a really good year actually. Not too shabby at all from the floor. The team goes to the NIT, which is the important thing here. They go to the NIT, which is fantastic, but we'll talk about something else that happens before the NIT. That's right now, Grace.
Oh,
let's do Grace.
Really?
Right now.
In college?
In college.
At Fresno State.
He just got to a major Division I school under a legendary coach. He's in the Basketball Hall of Fame now, under a legendary coach from the playground with a crackhead dad and a mom who's so, he could have been his brother.
Yeah.
Grace. Let's just say Grace now because it's going to fall apart slightly from here. So post Grace, Grace ends quickly. We always some people, if you've joined us, later, if you've been just kind of listening the last whatever, and you wonder why we do the Grace thing, you always say there's always a fall from grace with these stories. That's always the thing. There's a fall from grace. Well, at some point that's grace. Yeah. At some point you're at the top, but that's you have to have a grace to fall from. So we always say grace at the peak, and this is the peak because there's a steep fall off from here
right now,
and then it goes back up. He's like a stock market in a keeps time. Like he's just like a zigzagging up and down here.
He's like Bitcoin.
He really is. He's like Tesla stock.
He keeps going on the
That's
Joe
not going to
Rogan
age
podcast.
well. Yeah. That's in 2 years. People are going to be like, what? Who? The what now? Who the? Oh, that failed. Okay. So September 12th,
The guy that put a rocket ship on its ass, that guy?
By the way, leave the fucking guy. There's plenty of shit to rag on that douchebag
There
for.
is.
Smoking weed on Joe Rogan's show isn't the fucking hill to die on with that guy. Sorry. It's fucking legal. No one talked a word about him having the whiskey sitting next to him.
That's
he can drink all he fucking wants and nobody goddamn cares. But he takes one hit off a joint and he's unstable and we need to take the company away from him.
He didn't even
Fuck
inhale it. Like
the fuck out of here with that shit.
He took a puff off it, and you can tell when somebody inhales.
Pin him down with my fucking forearm and blow bong hits in his fucking face at this point, because just to be defiant to these cocksuckers, be like, I got you, don't worry about it. Fucking Eli, I've hated you, but now I like you. Just fuck that shit. I hate that. Anyway, September 12th, 1997, he has an issue. He is suspended from school for good reason.
From the college.
From the college, yeah, for good reason, because he has a little bit of problem. He's arrested for assaulting his ex-girlfriend.
What?
This is a bad thing.
The ex-girlfriend.
His ex-girlfriend. Now they've been
over.
On and off.
Yeah.
I mean, if as much as college kids are over, it's you get together and you know how it goes.
Yeah.
With when you're learning relationships, they go on and off. But at the time, this is his ex-girlfriend.
Before you realize that this shit doesn't create a healthy marriage later.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But especially anybody assaulting anyone really doesn't create a healthy environment at all. And that's what happens here is he assaults his ex-girlfriend. And the problem that the school has with it, in addition to him being arrested for assaulting a woman, which I'm sure doesn't look great, Fresno State at this point, by the way, they have several, right around this time, they have two teammates who held a gun on another student and robbed him, held a gun to their head. Lots of drug problems. Another kid who came in, it was like transferred in after like a jail sentence. This is like a team of they're looking for the most talented people.
Right.
This is like the 70s Raiders. They're like, we don't care if we have to get you on furlough.
Tark said it.
We don't care if we have to get you.
You're not here for for school. You're here for basketball.
Furlough from Folsom will take you. That's fine. You're here to play, and that's okay with us. Like,
you're telling me you just got out of San Quentin? Grab a ball.
Wonderful. Bring it on.
You're number 12. Let's go.
He strap that jersey on, pal. So this also, the problem they really have is because this happens outside the school's weight room.
Oh no.
So talk about shitting where you eat.
Yeah.
That's a huge shit to take. To fucking be arrested for assaulting a woman is a horrible fucking thing to be arrested for. You're an idiot. But to do it where you are your main thing, that's the worst thing. That'd be like at work if you took your wife to work and hit her. Like, that's the 1 and 2, and there's so many things wrong with that. It's not even. I don't even know where to start.
This is second incident at a weight room.
He's got a problem. Keep this fucking guy. Apparently, he gets into the weights and just something is unleashed in him.
Yeah.
The second he touches iron, I don't know what it is.
He's gonna punch somebody or throw it at a ball bag.
Yeah, no shit. And the team is such a mess and such disarray because of all of these other charges and play. It's like half the guys have like a current legal issue on a team at once. You can't really do that. In 1997, 3 days after the problem he has, where he's arrested for assaulting his girlfriend, the faculty they draft a resolution titled, quote, "Have we no shame?" It calls for Fresno State to write a new student-athlete code of conduct.
Oh, my God.
Have we no shame is what it's called. Like, seriously. That's funny as fuck.
We got guys with guns. We got guys punching women. We've got everything, and it's all boiled down to Tark.
And on top of that, we're making them play for free.
Right.
And, so there's that. So we're all pretending like that's okay, and then they get money from people and we pretend they don't. Let's just all pretend it's all... Why are we going to have any... No, we don't have any shame is the answer to that. Have we no shame? Absolutely not.
No.
Answer, no. So... December 14th, 1997, he's driving on Highway 99 to Los Angeles. And don't worry, this is actually not an arrest story. This isn't he was driving erratically and had a blood alcohol level of fucking 0.37 or something. This isn't that. But he falls asleep at the wheel. He's driving at night.
He's tired.
He's tired. He falls, which is understandable. He's been in the weight room. He's been in jail. He's been punching women. He's got a lot.
The hell out of a woman.
He's got a lot of things going on. It really does. He ends up rolling his car over.
Holy shit.
Which is crazy. He only gets cuts and scrapes, though, from it. So he's a lucky son of a bitch.
Seatbelts.
Yeah, seatbelts. And I don't know if he had I'm sure a booster lent him a nice car, maybe, or something like that. I'm sure he had the very modern airbag technology and whatever, 97
something with a high crash
features.
test rating.
Yeah, I need something with a roll cage. You got anything with a roll cage? I'm looking for that, please. So he's got problems here, obviously. Now, right around this time, after the car accident, he has another little problem at his apartment around there. There's a couple of neighbors who apparently are complaining repeatedly that his music is too loud, that Rafer's music is too loud.
Sure.
Now, there's several ways to handle that, obviously, for both parties. Yeah. Number one, you ask politely if you turn the music down, and the other person has a choice. They can turn it down, or they can tell you to go fuck yourself. Or they can say, sure, I'll turn it down, and then you leave and they don't turn it down. There's a lot of options here. The other people can keep asking. They can call the police and have them do it. There's a lot of options here.
You can turn it up.
Yeah. Everybody picked the worst options, though, because they repeatedly kept asking him, and he got mad enough to assault 2 people over it.
Oh, my God.
So he says, I'm tired of you fucking people bitching and complaining about my goddamn music. Let's get to punching.
He is vicious.
And he starts going after these fucking people. He's just not, and I get where he's coming from too, though, because where he's from, people say that shit, but he's not there anymore. That's the thing. I get the mentality, because that was the mentality everybody had back there at that time, because you had to have that fucking mentality.
But this is Fresno.
You're at Fresno State. Your coach will get you out of it. You have the silverest of silver-haired middle-aged white men in Jerry Tarkanian.
Tark will do anything for you.
Jesus Christ, he's got attorneys on a Rolodex probably. Here you go, kid. There's one for you.
They call him Prop Jerry, from what I understand.
That's like a proposition for you. What do you got, rape charge? No? Oh, that's great. It's not rape? Fuck, this is easy then. What is assault? Jesus, take that. No problem. Good God, we'll get that swept right under the rug.
I'm going to handle those fucking neighbors of yours, too.
Rape gets messy. Then we'd have to smear the girl. You know how it goes. You know the campaign we put on. We have to smear her, and we get the shawarma man. Is we had that. That's where the shawarma man came from. He was a rape victim smearer. Remember that? That's what it was. Dave Meggett, rape victim. He said they found a landlord from like 8 years before the rape happened to say, she say she have money, then she not give to us. And that was his exact fucking quote. That's why I said that must be his accent. Therefore, the shawarma man was born.
Fucking amazing. But the rape victim has a landlord that tells the media that she doesn't pay.
That she didn't pay her rent. Like, it was like 5 years before that.
I don't care if she get raped.
She said so. She was. He said she liar. She say she have no money. Then she say she have money. Then she no give to us. And I'm just like, what? That's your take. Why would a journalist print that? That's like
that is fucking amazing. That's a great point.
Why would you look for that?
Would they go?
Because
this needs to be in the paper.
Because the media in New York is so insatiable that they need any quote on something, so they found anything. That guy's met the girl that the famous guy that we all want to hear about raped. So it's
or
ridiculous.
Or the fucking journalist is as unprofessional as I am, and is like, that shit was hysterical, and it's going in the article.
It's going in the article. Did you really? Did he really? Okay, it's on my tape. I recorded it.
She no give to us.
She says she have money, then no give to us. Okay, I understand. Sign say closed. Okay, well, interview's over, I guess. He said sign say closed, so I'm going to leave now. Thank you for your time, sir.
Fuck,
I would like.
Amazing.
All right, lamb to go, please. Yes, I know you make for me. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank
Extra
you.
crispy
I
fries.
know. I understand. No, I have no cocaine. I'm sorry. Schwarma men, I have a problem. So, anyway, so he's arrested for this also. So the team's kind of like, okay, this is twice now.
Yeah.
This is getting to be a problem.
You're punching everybody.
And then you're rolling your car over, worrying us about that. Right. That's during the season in December. Right. That's like, you can't be fucking rolling your car over when we're playing fucking Long Beach State tomorrow night. Like, we need you to be here, pal. I guess that's who Fresno State plays, I would imagine. Other middling fucking, less than desirable places to live. State colleges.
We need you in Irvine Tech as a town.
That's a big one. That's homecoming. Yeah. That's homecoming, Jimmy. That's the big one. So, March 1998, they go to the NIT tournament, which is the loser bracket. If you don't follow college basketball, you know about the tournament because you've seen the brackets in your office, and even the secretary who has no idea about basketball, and the dude who's like, I don't like sports. That they both fill out a bracket and give you $10 for some reason.
They both picked Duke because that was the name of their childhood dog.
Yeah. And so I've heard
fucking assholes.
Yeah,
and they win.
And they win that way. Yeah,
fucking
that's
jerks.
what it always is because whether you know anything or not, you have the same chances.
Right.
So anyway, they go to that's the NCAA tournament. The NIT tournament is all the teams less than that. Right. There's the top 64 teams. Well, this is the next 64 teams. So this is not great.
And don't worry, that's not even half of all the teams.
No, and there's so many more fucking teams that are like, oh man, if only we could be in the top 128 teams, we could make it to one of these fucking tournaments.
Our college basketball is like Europe's soccer. That's what it is.
So many.
There are so many fucking teams.
Levels and teams and all this type of shit. So they go there. There's a problem, though, because Alston was supposed to appear in court during an NIT game in Hawaii, and he doesn't show up.
He doesn't go to court?
Doesn't show up. His lawyer, whose name is, and I did not make this up, Mike Idiart, which sounds very close to idiot if you say it so many times fast, told the judge that he couldn't make it to court because he's in Hawaii Thursday night. He's sorry. He's got... So they said, okay, well, now there's a bench warrant for you.
Oh, boy.
You fucking moron.
You
because
idiot.
You idiot. Because I have shit to do isn't a good enough excuse to miss court. You kind of have to set that shit up ahead of time.
It's called be in court.
It's called, sorry, coach, got court today. Right. That's a tough one. Sorry.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
And now back to the show.
Now, there's a warrant for failing to complete the 40 hours of ordered community service by December 16th. He didn't complete that, probably because he was rolling over his car 2 days before that. Now, a special assistant to the basketball team named Roscoe Poindexter. I wish I could make that up.
What's going on?
Roscoe Poindexter.
The players in this story.
It's, in every story, the fighters, the players, it never ceases to have insane names.
You got an idiot, a raper, and
a raper, and Roscoe Poindexter, who sounds like a redneck nerd. Sounds like a hillbilly nerd. He's a special assistant to the basketball team. He said that Alston had finished the community service requirement, quote, a long time ago. Yeah. So he's like, this is horseshit.
Coach Tark signed the 40 hours 10 minutes after it was handed down.
His friend that, So April 30th, 1998, this is after the season, which doesn't matter anymore. He's suspended from the team at this point.
For legal problems.
Well, for ongoing because he fails to complete domestic violence anger management classes and is arrested for that and has to spend a couple days in jail. And he has problems there. So the team's like, okay, that's enough. You're suspended now that there's no basketball for another 6 fucking months. Now you're suspended.
Because that's why you're here.
That's mighty big of him. Yeah. You get no seriously. No playing basketball while there's no games. I'm not kidding. Don't do that. I mean, on your own, do whatever you want, which you were going to do anyway, but no organized games, even though we're not having any.
Put on those big shorts and go back to New York.
Enjoy. Don't do that. Go run around there. So May 9th, 1998, he says, that's enough for me. He decides that he's done with Fresno State. He leaves college. This is his third year in college, his first year in a major college, and declares for the NBA draft. Through his high school coach, his silver-haired middle-aged white man announces it for him. He's going to the NBA draft.
This is such a bad idea.
Well, I mean, you never know. I mean, we'll see how it goes here. Okay. But you would think that he doesn't seem quite ready yet. Or if you're a team, you're going, wow, what's he been arrested 3 times in the last fucking 8 months? He's rolled his car over. I don't know about this. He's already acting like a star, so I don't know if we can have this.
Good point.
This is not. I mean, I like the confidence the kid has. He clearly thinks he's going to be a top-notch player in this league if he's going to act like that. So I don't know. You have to. If you're a great player, you can act like this. Sadly enough, but
even if you're not even a great player, Olden Polynice figured it out how to behave like this too.
Well, he was tall. See, he was really tall. If you're 6'2", you got to really be good to beat up women and play. You know, they're like, ooh, you got to be dunking on people.
Iverson.
Yeah, he didn't beat up any women.
No, I know. But I'm saying talent-wise.
Talent-wise. He got a bum rap, Allen Iverson.
He's a fucking amazing player.
He got a bum rap.
And not only did he get a bum rap, he got stuck with shit teams.
He got in a fight in a bowling alley with 20 other kids, and they blamed him. He's the one. He beat up everyone. That's like the old Eddie Murphy joke when there was a riot in a nightclub and everybody sued him. Like he whooped Eddie Murphy kicked my ass. Yeah, he punched me so hard. This guy's 6'5", 400 pounds. Eddie Murphy beat me so bad, and he's like, I'm 5'9", weigh 150 pounds. I ain't whooping shit unless it's in the script. I'm not beating your ass. You know, that's the Eddie Murphy joke. Like, I don't know. Fucking silly. So, anyway, he's going to go to the NBA draft. The 1998 NBA draft is the Michael Olowokandi draft.
Oh, boy.
He goes number 1 overall. One of the biggest draft busts of all time. So the Clippers, this is when the Clippers... God, the Clippers just hemorrhaging top draft picks left and right, just throwing them in the garbage. Second overall was Mike Bibby.
That's right.
And Rafer LaFrance for the Nuggets.
He
played for the Grizzlies later on. Right? He went to the Grizzlies there. Antoine Jameson, who was so good at North Carolina.
I loved him in North Carolina.
He was so nasty.
God, Jesus.
He was a good player is he still playing, or he played till like last year?
Yeah.
We've talked about him before. We had this conversation, I think, like 2 months ago. But
I think he was playing last year.
We've talked about this draft a lot. This is Vince Carter and Jason Williams, not that Jason Williams.
The white one.
The white one. Dirk Nowitzki, Paul Pierce, all these guys.
How about that, by the way? All those people picked before Nowitzki. Yeah. They had no idea how great of a shooter he was.
No clue.
At the same time as being as tall as he is.
Europeans back then were still looked at sideways. Like, if you look at the whole first round, you have Olowokandi, who's from Nigeria and played up but he's a center and he played for whatever. He played college in the U.S. and
those
all that kind of
pan out
shit.
quite frequently, those centers from quote-unquote third world countries.
Yeah,
you know
look at
Olajuwon, Dikembe Mutombo. They just Manute Bol. They pan out.
Europeans were considered soft back then, so you had to be Dirk's of tall, special kind of skills for a tall guy. You had to be that guy first. It's a big stiff fucking guy who's 46 years old trying to run around.
Luke Longley.
Yeah. Oh God, soft ass.
So many of them.
Soft. God damn it.
Even that fucker that played for the
Keon
Bulls.
Clark was in this draft. That's right. That's why we talked about this draft a lot. Yeah, absolutely.
The other fucker from the Bulls that not Arvydas, the other one. Arvydas played for them too, right? I think he did.
He's a Blazer mainly. Arvydas.
Yeah. You're right. Right. The other one that played for the Bulls, Tony Kukoc.
Kukoc, other European. Yeah, he was pretty good though. He was a good player for what he was. He was decent, man. He was smooth.
Was he a power forward? Because they had
like
Horace
a small
Grant.
Forward, left-handed. Right. He could shoot mid-range. He wasn't bad. He wasn't great, but he was no Scottie Pippen, but he was pretty good. But finally, round 2, pick number 39, the Milwaukee Bucks decide, let's take a chance on the Rafer.
They drafted
him second round. Now, second round in the NBA is no guarantee of shit, though. That's first round, it's guaranteed money, and you're probably going to make the team. Second round, they'll probably cut you. They might cut you. Who knows?
But he just made the NBA.
But he just got drafted in the NBA, and he's going to get some kind of signing bonus. He's going to make money for playing basketball, not in college. Actually, on the books money. Yeah. He's allowed to say that he made here, which is good for him. Not bad at all. He says, quote, "The plan was always to make it to this point. A person takes different paths. This was mine. It started on the playgrounds, and with me being able to hold my own as a young kid against grown-ups. I had to really prove and show that I belonged in the Division I circuit, that I belong in the NBA, and can play with the best of them." Okay. So that's what you want a kid to say. Yeah. You want a kid to say, there's challenges, and I know I need to up my game, and I'm up for the fucking challenge, and that's what you want out of a kid.
It's all positive.
He's saying all positive shit, and mostly he says positive shit. That's the thing. It's like you just want him to follow up. You're like, that was a great statement, and then it's like, why'd you just slap that guy? What's going on? Why are you at the strip club at 4 a.m, fucking doing things you're doing?
Punching your ex-girlfriend.
Again, right. So it's at this point, though, right after he gets drafted and says all this, and this is going to be the best thing in the world, it is said that he again failed to complete his anger management classes and now faces a possible jail term. So the Bucks are obviously, they want this shit to be resolved sooner rather than later, right. I would fucking imagine. He ends up surrendering and goes in jail for a few days in Fresno. His bail was set at $3,000. He issued an apology to the court through his agent, of course. He says, that's what I want to do. By the way, if we get in trouble for anything, either one of us, we have an agent. We are going to call Oren and make him tell everybody something for us.
Pull some strings. To,
not even pull strings.
I mean, pull his puppet strings.
We're just going to go, listen, here's what we need to say.
These are
that way
words.
We don't have to say it to people. They can just be like, it'll be like Robert Kardashian reading OJ's suicide letter. Like, that's got to go through someone else. So that's what we need to do. Sorry, Oren, if you listen to this show, I'm not sure, but anyway, he said, quote, "I am willing to do whatever it takes to put this behind me and rectify my mistakes through the proper channels." He said channels and rectify in the same sentence, which makes me think of he's thinking about ass fucking in some way, shape, or form. That's too much.
I'm gonna rectify your channel.
Yeah, I'm gonna rectify that channel, baby. I don't like that. I feel like that's a wink and a nod statement, but the agent said, fuck it, let's let it fly. I like flying by the seat of my pants. I'm a modern kind of agent. So
it's a lot of ass puns.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. So in the neighbor assault case, that's what the community service thing was for. The case against him there ends up being dismissed after he shows a judge proof that 40 hours of community service had been completed. Okay. So that's he ended up doing that. So that case gets dismissed, but he still going on this, because he pled guilty to the misdemeanor assault against his girlfriend, and then he had to take anger management classes, and it's a violation if you don't, and they put you in jail, and it's a
This is what happens when you don't finish the fucking penalty.
That's the thing.
Just pay your fucking
Do
penance.
it up. Finish it the fuck off, man. So he plays in Milwaukee in 99 and 2000. He gets into the league. He said that he had to put his street ball persona away for the NBA. He couldn't be Skip to my Lou anymore. Nobody wanted that shit. The coaches didn't want that shit. Other players didn't want that shit. He said, quote,
Milwaukee doesn't need that shit.
Well, no, Milwaukee needs that shit. Let's just say that. Milwaukee needs some flashy razzle-dazzle because they're freezing and drunk and bored. So.
Do they have Vin Baker at this time?
I believe so, yeah.
This was just a bleak team.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
they'd make the playoffs for like an 8 seed, and then they're fucking bounced early.
Be out, yeah. Glenn Robinson be shooting 18 three-pointers from the corner, and why is he shooting those?
But then they score 83 points because that's all they've got.
Yeah, that's it. So he goes there, and like we said, you can't just dribble around for a half hour in the NBA. He said, quote, Rafer does, quote, they don't like someone going between your legs, throwing behind the back passes, but I was a kid who watched Pistol Pete Maravich, and they loved him doing it, so I don't understand how they can love him doing it, and it was A-okay when Pistol Pete Maravich had a lot of his playground stuff in the game, but when a kid like myself comes from NYC, it's all bad. He's got a fucking point there. But the thing is, the difference is, it's a much different time.
Right.
Pistol Pete came up in the ABA in the 70s, and the ABA's whole thing was to look different than the NBA. So if you can dribble around and throw behind the back passes, the league was like, fuck yeah. Do that shit, because that's how you look different.
Seats, right.
That's how you look different. That's
Also,
you have to separate yourself. It's a more exciting game.
Pete was shooting granny shots from the free throw line too. You want to shoot those, you fuckface?
That's true too, yeah. But no, he's got a point, but it's still, the NBA by the late 90s had changed a lot to where it was so organized, and everything was triangle offense was dominating, and there was no room
everything was organized.
Yeah, there's no it's just isolation. Just take them and see what you can dribble around them, and then do a behind the back pass.
The NFL, you can't play the same game as you played in the 70s right now either.
No, you get penalized every 10 seconds for clotheslines.
You'd be arrested.
Yeah,
probably.
you probably would. They take you off the field in cuffs now for the 1 quarter worth of a Raider game in the 70s. So he plays for Milwaukee, plays in 27 games in his rookie year. 0 started, 13.4 minutes a game. So they're going to bring him in slow. 2.2 points a game, nothing much at all. 2.6 assists. Half a steal, nothing much here, less than a rebound per game. Makes $301,875,000.
That's a deal,
which is pretty good. It's probably, I'm sure, more than his father's made in his whole life.
Right.
Not counting what he's scrounged together and spent on crack. I'm talking honest earnings, not crack stealings. Not that, not crack scroungings. That's a different story. And
he should have waited on that Jordan rookie card to mature. He could have got a lot more crack
nowadays.
Than he
Good Lord, he could get so much crack now. There's a pile of it, a mountain of crack. 2000. See, crackheads, that's no foresight. That's really what the problem with crack is.
They're really living for today.
That's what? That's what it is. They're living for today. Crackheads. Take it easy. Look to tomorrow. Maybe get a 401k.
Yeah.
You know how much crack you can get once that matures?
Roth IRAs are amazing investments.
Even just like T-bills is you're going to get more crack in the end is what we're saying. It's going to be more crack for your money over time.
Your return will be much greater.
It's going to work. So simple. 2000-2001. He's playing from Milwaukee again, plays in 37 games this time, only starts 2, averages 2.1 points a game this time. So again, just not... they're bringing him along very slowly. Milwaukee really doesn't seem to have much use for him and what he does and his skill set. He makes $423,500, though. I would love for someone to give me $423,500 who had little use for my skill set or what I did. Imagine that shit.
He's made $700,000 in 2 years.
Well, you don't really fit in here, but we're going to pay you fucking $423,500 for it. Just to see if maybe you can contribute once in a while. Imagine
incredible.
That. Holy shit. We have to make good shows every fucking week and make nowhere near $423,500. So that's really not fucking fair at all.
We're hoping that by the time this shit's over, we have made $400.
Yeah,
that's not anywhere near.
No, we're not there yet. So 2002.
You get the sniffles and we can't record for
fucked.
a week.
Yeah, we're in deep shit. It's over. So 2001, 2002 season, still with Milwaukee. This year they use him a little bit more, 50 games. So that's not bad. 50 games, 7 games started, averages 3.5 points a game. So, it's
inching up.
It's inching. It's not much, but it's inching. 2.9 assists per game. So it's something. And his pay is inching up also because these contracts escalate. He makes $625,000 this year.
He's made over $1 million in his life.
Oh, absolutely.
In 3 years.
In 3 years for
stupid.
Never averaging more than 3.5 points a game. That's not too shabby. That's really pretty decent.
That is fan-fucking-tastic.
That'd be like if you had to work 7 hours a week, but got paid an exorbitant amount of money.
$1 million over 3 years.
Just huge. You're like, wow, this is amazing. I really like my job. September 6th, 2002. Now he's a free agent after that year because he's a second-round guy, so it's a 3-year contract. It's up with Milwaukee. Where's he going to go? He's signed as a free agent with the Golden State Warriors at this point in 2002. But in October of 2002, which is right in the beginning of the season there, he's waived by the Warriors. They shit can him.
Yeah.
So now his contract's expired with Milwaukee. He's averaged at most 3.5 points a game. This is tough when you're out here in this situation. But he's lucky. He catches on. January 17th, 2003, he signs a contract for the rest of the season with the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
So kind of saves his ass.
I was just going to say it's an expansion team.
Yeah, they put that stupid jersey on him and fucking roll him out there. Go ahead, idiot, and fucking feel awful.
The jizz on the shoulder.
Yeah, the jizz on the shoulder. Ignore Charles Oakley. He's going to say terrible things about him and Mason are going to say awful things together. So that he plays in 47 games, which is basically the rest of that season. 4 started, averages 7.8 points a game now. So he's a little bit more. They're letting him play 4.1 assists per game. So not bad. Now we're talking. That's a little bit better. And it also, he's so lucky because he didn't really get a chance to put his skills on display in Milwaukee.
Right.
And then he gets cut and he's like, okay, now what do I do? At least Toronto let him play a little bit enough to show the rest of the league that he could actually fucking play.
Right.
Which is honestly, you should be thanking the shit out of Toronto for that. But his contract's up at the end of the year. September 4th, 2003, he signs as a free agent with the Miami Heat. Okay. So he's on some, those Heat teams were pretty good from 2003 kind of on until recently, honestly. That team.
Until they found out that Simpsons character has a heart condition.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit, it's over now.
Chris Bosh, that ugly motherfucker.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, he's an alien. He fit on the Raptors. He looked like the dinosaur. He had the same face.
He looked like the mascot.
Yeah, it fit him. It was good. Yeah, he's a scary man. I hear he's like the nicest person too.
Sure
I've read things about him. Everything he says, he's like the nicest guy. He had lots of charity work and shit. Like he's a real good dude, and he's just hideous, and it's sad.
Any day could be his last.
It could. He could drop at any second. This is his year to kind of flourish. He plays in 82 games this year.
The whole season.
Every game he plays in. He starts 28, which, hey, that's more than a quarter of the games he started. So they're believing in him a little bit. 31.5 minutes a game. So he's not just coming off the bench for a few. He's a solid sixth man.
He's playing the whole half.
He's playing a lot. Yeah, he's playing a lot.
There's only 48 in the game.
There's 4. Yeah, he's playing a lot of the game. I mean, that's like your sixth man. That's your first guy off the bench, or a starter in certain cases. He averages 10.2 points a game that year. Fantastic.
That's not bad.
It's better. So he went from 3.5 to 7.8 to 10.2 in the last 3 years. Good for him. 4.5 assists per game, which is where he wants to be. He also learns to be, he's a shit shooter when he comes in the league.
Really?
As a lot of point guards are. A lot of point guards are terrible shooters.
Well, it's not their job.
No, and they're told throughout high school and college to distribute, and they're not great shooters because they're not scorers. Yeah. They're not the playmaker, and they're not supposed to be. So
you make the play. You set it up and get the man the ball that's going to fucking score.
And on the playground, the 18-foot jump shot isn't considered the most heroic of things to do. You got to take a guy to the rack or pass it so a guy can oop. Or
it's got to be 23.2.
That's the shot that matters.
That's the one that counts.
And back then, even then, they were like, "Were you too scared to fucking come to the hole, bitch?" Like that's why I loved basketball back then. People be like, if you were just shooting threes, they'd just be like, I'm just going to knock you down next time before you start shooting that shit, and I'll just keep doing that. Or you can come to the hole like a fucking,
come on in
like
here
a fucking adult.
Right.
Yeah, come in here like a fucking adult and try to take the ball to the goddamn hole. I like that game. I don't.
That's a much. Look, I get the allure of. We've talked about.
Someone should have a bloody nose after a fucking playground game.
There should be some fucking bruises.
Something. Right. Now they never even touch each other because they're all just spread out around the 3-point line waiting for shots. Like if someone just ran underneath, you'd have an open shot, asshole.
You shouldn't be able to high five because you're holding your shoulder. That's what it should be.
Yeah, I feel like basketball is going to come around to where, because now it's like a small guard, it's like a guard game with the 3-pointers. It's going to come around to being a center game again because everybody's all the way the fuck out there. Right. Someone's going to go, let's just get like 3 big guys and put them down low. Let them shoot all the fucking threes they want. They'll never stop. We'll score. We'll be 100% field goal percentage down low.
100% twos is still better than 53%
and when
threes.
Steph Curry jumps up, put a forearm in his fucking chest one time. He's gonna be a little skittish on that next 3. That's all I'm saying. Because that's what they would have done back in the day. If he came out on an old Knicks against like an old Knicks team, Anthony Mason would have fucking cross-body checked him, and he would have thought twice the next time if he saw Anthony's big head running at him. He would have been like, is he going to fucking destroy me again? Maybe I'm not such a good shooter today.
Ask your dad about that, Steph.
That's what happens. So I don't know. He makes $688,679 that year.
Wow.
Doing fine.
Yeah.
For a kid who's from the playground. This is
near
great.
$2 million now.
You see, without the domestic assault, you're really rooting for the guy.
I am.
Don't you want a guy? Because, like, I remember this guy. Like, I want this guy to fucking be good. Like, I really do. I liked him.
I'm thinking of all the investment opportunities he's got at this point.
I rooted for Sebastian Telfair, for Christ's sake, because I love a playoff guy. And he's an asshole. He's a fucking asshole. And I still rooted for that guy.
That name just rings of shitbag.
It's a shame. He's a team to team to team. He has tried to never mind, I won't get into it. So July 14th, 2004, he signs as a free agent with the Toronto Raptors. Okay. So they were enamored with him, I guess, from that 1 year of play. And they let him play a little bit, actually. In this, he plays in 80 games, and he starts 78 of them.
Wow.
So that's it. He's a starting point guard in the NBA. He went from nothing, from a playground to a city college to a starting point. I mean, it is Toronto, mind you, but it's still technically an NBA team.
It is.
Barely, but it's still an NBA team.
Remedial as fuck, but it's a team.
They did have a cartoon dinosaur on their shirt, which is funny, but still, he started 78 games.
And no amount of changing that jersey.
Semi-professional basketball team.
No amount of changing that jersey is going to wipe that shit image out of my fucking ass.
It's still on there. We know about it. So he scores 14 points.
They're going to wait for all of us to die.
It's going to be generations. Generations. That's
I'm going to show my kids so that they go, so they know when they're adults that
don't
place.
Like the Raptors. These were their jerseys. That's your last fucking
Never
words.
Enjoy them.
Never enjoy the Raptors. These were their jerseys. Just last breath.
And I wanted to talk. The Denver Broncos logo was garbage forever.
I love the D
Not
with
that
the thing
D.
in it.
The one before it was a cowboy on a fucking horse.
Oh, that was a piece of shit. Yeah, that was only for a couple of years.
Yeah, but
they got
it's
rid
still
of that.
there.
They got rid of that when the AFL kind of tried to not be idiots.
And then that like sick dying horse on the fucking helmet with the star too.
That
was bad
that thing
too.
did look like it was going to die. This year he averages 14.2 points a game, like we said, which is fantastic. 6.4 assists, 3.5 rebounds. This kid's a fucking legit starter. And as a legit starter in the NBA, Toronto pays him as a legit starter in the NBA because they must have expected it to sign him to this deal. They must have expected him to be a starter. $3.5 million he makes that season. That's a great season. And he was so excited. He went out and earned his goddamn money too. He upped his fucking game. He went from 3.5 points to 7.8 points to 10.2 to 14.2.
Yeah.
You give him the time because he upped his, he's 34 minutes a game. Yeah. You give him the time, he scores the points. That's what he's
300 to 3 million.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Wow.
Isn't that crazy, man? So that had to feel amazing.
Fucking America.
Man. Well, actually Canada.
Yeah.
Canada.
Canada. He's up there with $3 million in free health care. That's fantastic.
That's true, but the $3 million is worth like $1.7 million there. So, no, I'm just kidding. I know you're not Canada. It's like 80 cents on the dollar. I understand. I get it. So, he then at this point, though, so you think he's got the fucking best situation. They like him up there. They're giving him money. They're letting him start. Life is good.
And then he raped a moose.
And then he fucking absolutely took a caribou by the fucking horns and mouth fucked it for a while. for a while. People got it on video. It was that long, and he's actually banned from the country now.
They got a smile and everything.
He actually does something dumber. You could probably get away with that as a prank somehow. I don't know if you really knew how to spin it. I'm not sure.
Palin's done it.
It's happened. At least one of their boyfriends. At least one of the daughter's boyfriends. Yeah. So he, at this point, reportedly and allegedly gets into a fist fight with his head coach.
No.
Which is probably in basketball one of the few things you can't do and be fine about. I mean,
which coach was it?
Sam Mitchell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, who's an ex-player, I believe. So you can't see Latrell Sprewell. I mean, he choked Carlissimo, who's an asshole, and he still choked him anyway, and he got in trouble for that. Otherwise, a star player can get a head coach fired. That's the thing. He could have got him fired if he wanted to. He could. That's what players do. You get a couple of stars together, they'll shit can a coach. You can't hit him though, because at that point you're in the wrong. There's really no well, he did this, so you can't punch your coach. Stupid. There's like a few people you can't punch, and he's one of them. Your wife, him, the
That's
owner.
about it.
Anybody else will let it slide. You can punch a teammate. That's happened in a million of these
so many
stories.
times.
Fine. Don't drop a weight on his groin.
No.
That'll get you suspended.
It's a dick move.
So anyway, he had some problems there. Gets in a fist fight with his coach, not advised, and October 4th, 2005, he's traded by the Raptors to the Houston Rockets for Mike James.
Really?
So the Rockets end up getting a steal out of this because they get a guy who's he's got overvalue. He's got more value than they need to get rid of him, and they know it. So they're like, we'll give you this fucking guy. How's that? Even though he's a starting point guard in the league and had a good year last year. So he ends up in Houston, which is a good place for him. He ends up liking Houston, sticking around Houston for a while. Yeah, Houston's nice. As a matter of fact,
a live show there
there's a show. The place everyone in America should really try to get to Houston on one particular day. It's a very special day in Houston. It's live for Small Town Murder that day at the House of Blues.
Mandy Malone Day.
Mandy Malone. It's a huge venue, absolutely enormous, and there's really it's silly that we're booked there for some reason, honestly, because we have way more listeners in Dallas, but we're in like a smaller theater. But what the fuck? Who knows? So come through. If you're from the surrounding areas, please come from your dust tents and your campsites and get on your horses and throw your pork and bean bindle over your shoulder and get on moving.
Climb out of the dirt like John Goodman in Raising Arizona,
please, and buy
come
tickets
to the show.
Okay, plug over. So. 12.1 points a game that year for him in 63 games. He starts all 63, so that's good. That's a plus for Houston. He makes $3,850,000.
He has done so well for himself.
He's doing great.
A crackhead's kid has made this kind of money.
His dad's just going, man, how much crack could I buy? I should have been nicer to that fucking kid. Before he's like, we had a falling out. He's like, God damn it. He's doing math. He goes to hey, how much crack can I get for $3.8 million? The guy's like, fuck, I don't know. He'd have to do the math. We have to get a truck. That's a lot.
You would retire your drug dealer with that kind of money.
You can't just walk up and have him go, around the corner, see the other guy. It's not going to work. So 2006-2007 season, once again for Houston, he averages 13.3 points a game while playing and starting all 82 games.
Wow.
So legit starting point guard. 13.3 points a game, 5.4 assists, 3.4 rebounds total. He's doing fucking great.
I am bummed that I abandoned the NBA at this time.
Me too, actually. I am too.
That strike really fucked me up. And
it wasn't there. And
I
it pissed
still
me
haven't
off.
come back.
I haven't either. It's so weird.
I'm trying so hard.
I was a fucking junkie. I was an NBA
I loved it.
junkie. I loved it. I watched every goddamn televised thing. I don't give a shit if it was the Bucks and the Heat on a Tuesday night.
TNT, TBS.
I'll watch it.
I'm in.
Let's do it. Who we got? It was entertaining as shit. And it's still entertaining. It's just a kind of a different game now.
And there's only fucking 3 good teams, and it drives me goddamn bonkers.
Things are a little different now,
letting everybody go to whatever. I don't want to bitch too much. It's just
the NBA is turned into a different thing, and it's entertaining, and the guys are great athletes and all that shit. It's like wrestling. It's the same thing.
You just know who's going to win.
Well, no, I mean, it's like, I get it, and the guys are all great athletes, and they do their best, and everybody works hard, but it's just not as entertaining to look at.
I'd rather watch wrestling.
It's probably much.
The NBA better get their shit together.
Maybe I got to try that again.
Yeah.
I give it a chance every couple of years to see if it's good again.
I tried last year, and I
wrestling.
Or
the NBA.
NBA. I tried so hard, and I did the beginning. Fucking from tip off day one, everybody knew who was going to be in the finals.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
And it was still fucking.
I mean, they used to have the Lakers and the Celtics, but there was to be like 4 good teams at least,
and there was still a chance that the Showtime may not win.
Yeah,
you knew that
true.
It was going to be fucking.
That would be tough. There's a lot of good teams, and there was the Blazers, and there was the Rockets, and you're right. So 13.3 points, not bad, enough to make him $4.2 million for that year, which is goddamn impressive.
He is crushing it.
That is an impressive bounty of cash.
Women's faces and bank accounts.
It's
incredible.
He crushes a lot more pretty soon here. There's a lot of crushing coming up here for him. Skulls and the like. Let's get into it here after his $4.2 million season. Now, what does he do off the court?
Yeah.
What's a guy like him do off the court with a motor and a guy who likes to, always like to kind of get into some shit and play dice and run the streets a little bit? Well, he says, and I don't hear the word strip club in here at all, as a matter of fact, but this is what he says about what he does. He says, quote, "Oh, man, off the court, I'm a big bowling guy, and I like to go to the movies. I'm a big movie goer. I always go to the theater, and I like watching movies at my house. I play video games here and there. It just depends on who comes over and who likes to play."
Family friend.
Just a homebody. Yeah, he likes movies.
He's a dork.
He's
a cinephile.
I make Blue Apron at home, That's what I do. I like getting the recipes. It's you can prepare them in less than 40 minutes.
Really easy.
It's pre-portioned ingredients. I don't have to have special spices.
No.
It's really great. That's what he's doing basically.
Send me a rutabaga.
That's what he's telling everybody though. He's like, video games, just homebody stuff. Just sitting
around.
I like
to make popcorn on my stove.
I'm in a book club.
Yeah.
We meet every Thursday. That's pretty fun. If there's no game, if not, we push it to Wednesday. I mean, it's a day early. It's less reading, but then we have to just read more on Tuesday, so it's fine. We all like to read, right? No, that's not what he's doing. Actually, on August 6th, 2007, he's charged with misdemeanor assault and public intoxication in Houston. That's more like it.
Yeah.
That's more like
That's
it.
a party boy.
That's what I'm talking about.
My kind of night.
He's accused of grabbing a parking attendant's arm and shaking him and holding him and then spitting on him after the vehicle is towed from a lot.
His car got towed?
His car got towed from a lot, and I guess the attendant says that Rafer parked illegally and never paid anybody. He just pulled in and parked somewhere, didn't pay anybody.
Yeah, you
just
can't do that.
Was like, hey, fuck it, I'm on the Rockets. I can park here now. Right. And they were like, actually, no, you can't. That requires, we don't care about your ride. I didn't see any, you didn't hand us tickets or anything like that. So we're going to call the cops and have your car towed, which they do. And he ends up freaking out, drunkenly grabbing the guy while the guy tried to get away, holding him and shit. And he's a strong guy and a big guy and a drunk guy.
Yeah.
And then he spits on him also, which is that's a dick move.
Injury.
That's a dick move. Anytime our athletes spit on a guy, I'm like, come on, man, don't be spitting on people. What are you fucking doing?
But at least he's learning his lesson, because a spit is much less damaging than a punch.
Yeah.
Right.
A spit will cost you less than a punch too. It really will. No one's ever in the hospital from having spit on their arm.
No.
So that's good for him. He tells a Houston TV station though that he did not do a damn thing to that attendant. He is wrongfully accused. The next day he came out, he said he's innocent of misdemeanor assault and public intoxication charges. He said, I didn't grab anybody's arm. Nothing like that happened. He tells this is what he says to a television interview about the whole thing. He says, quote, "We got into a shouting match. My car was towed and I was basically asking the parking attendant where my car had been towed to."
Yeah.
I'm sure very calmly, Sir, excuse me. Yes, I understand that you're very busy, but it seems my vehicle has been towed. I was wondering if possibly there's a contact information for where I could recover it. Is that possible, sir? I don't think that's what and then the guy was like, yo, fuck you, man. And he's like, then he spit on him. Right. I don't think that's what happened. I think he was drunk.
Maybe he was just drunk and slobbery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He could have been spitting from being drunk, but he was definitely holding the guy probably.
I've done that while hitting on a girl.
That's not a good sign.
No.
But I'm sure he was like, motherfucker, where's my fucking car? Where the fuck did it go, asshole? Did you get it towed, you motherfucker? And I'm sure he he was threatening.
Sure, there was some throat clearing before the spit.
That could have happened too. He said, quote, there were no hits, nothing transpired. The guy runs off and yells down the street like he needed an officer over here. Before you know it, the officer puts me in cuffs and takes me downtown. I asked the guy what I was being charged with, and he said public intoxication and assaulting someone, and I said, I'm neither of those, which is a drunk answer.
That should clear it all up.
Well, he said he's charged with public intoxication and assaulting someone. He said, I'm neither of those. That's a drunken answer to that. I'm not publicly intoxicated. Okay, you're not. I'm not assaulting. I don't know what. I'm neither. Not a good answer to that.
It's definitely not the right answer to that.
No,
it's a funny answer.
It's a funny fucking answer. Yeah, it's the answer of someone who shouldn't be talking to the police on their own, or the media about the police. I should say
it's a drunken answer of somebody that just assaulted someone. That's what that is.
What that is. So they're both misdemeanor charges. These because I mean he didn't he didn't lay into the guy. He just was being a dick. That's what you're charged with. 3rd degree dickery. 3rd degree nudnickery. Sorry, that's $500 fine. Apologize to that guy. Buy him a new fucking jacket because you spit on his shirt, and we'll fucking move on. How's that sound? Everybody happy? Good. I should be a fucking judge. Where's my gavel? It's right here. The court is fucking assholes. You and you. Did you fucking tow his car? For what? Did you tell him first that you were you know what? You should have fucking grabbed his arm, but the spit was too much. $500. Move the fuck along. Get out of my goddamn courtroom.
Until you stop being twat.
That's it. Done. And you're a pussy. Anyway, we're going to get a cop for that. You don't need a fucking cop for that, you asshole.
Be a man.
Be a goddamn, you
Texas.
son of a bitch. Yeah. It would be me the bailiffs would be restraining me in court if I was a judge. Your Honor, sit down. I'd be like, no, fuck that guy. They'd be like, no, it's not worth it, Your Honor. It's not worth it. I'd be like, I have a hammer. It's
have
right
you
here.
seen the new Norm Macdonald show on Netflix?
No.
I've
seen it, but I've never watched it.
He has Judy Shineland.
I'm doing this shit.
He has Judge Judy as a guest, and she's fucking incredible. Like, you think that shit on TV is an act of her being a hard ass? She's a hard ass. She is fucking 4'8".
She seems like a joy, Jimmy. Seems like a joy.
She's a hard ass to Norm Macdonald, who's like 6'4", 6'5". He's a big fucking dude, and she is like yammering in his face.
He just seems like he'd be confused by that. Like,
and she's being polite, like it's a conversation, and she's being an asshole.
I don't know why you're yelling at me, but all right.
It's pretty hilarious.
So,
it's great.
Now the Rockets general manager, Daryl Morey, he says, quote, we are aware of the situation and are attempting to get more details on the incident. In other words, we're stalling. While we do not have all the facts, it is nevertheless very disappointing to have one of our players involved in any police activity. We will continue working with the authorities in order to get to the bottom of the situation, which is printed on a silver-haired middle-aged white man's business card. He just hands you that card. If you remember the meeting.
Read this.
Here you go. Yeah, I know it's the one I gave you 6 months ago when the other guy did that thing, but it's the same fucking statement. Same fucking statement. Suck it. So that's what it also says on the other side. It says suck it, and then the rest of that shit's on the other side. So it's a good card. So August 28th, 2007, this is 3 weeks later after this
right now
nightclub incident. Yeah, it's immediately afterwards, pretty much. He is charged again with assault. This time it's worse. He's in Manhattan. He's at a nightclub. Bad stuff is going on here. He ends up charged with slashing a man's neck with a knife during a brawl.
No.
This is a bad fucking charge. This is not good.
What?
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel. Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify. In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
And now, back to the show.
The injured man here says the incident occurred after I guess there was a club called Club Stereo. I guess they accidentally bumped into each other, is what the alleged victim allegedly says allegedly happened. I don't know. Who knows what any of it's true.
A shitload of alleged stuff.
Who knows? Yeah. And I guess they got in an argument over that, which I remember being in that place where you fucking argue with people for bumping into you. It's like, I don't care anymore.
What a nightmare.
I don't give a shit.
I don't want that ever again.
No, I just don't care. No. I'm just like, whatever. I'm stoned. Leave me alone. Like, what do you want from me? Anyway, so apparently during...
when you're in your 30s, somebody bumps into you and they go, I'm sorry. You go, it's cool.
You go,
and then you move on.
No problem. Actually, you both say, my bad, and then you move on because if you're both like that.
Neither of us should be here
we
right
don't
now.
care. Yeah, neither of us want to fight. We're both trying to get laid or whatever the fuck people do. I hate bars. Whatever the fuck people are doing at bars, trying to get laid, I assume.
I'm working on
looking to get in fights.
I'm trying to get shithoused right now.
Getting shithoused.
You want to get shithoused with me? Have a drink.
Sure, there we go. Now, this guy says they had an argument and a slight tussle, and people in Alston's entourage were involved in it, and out of nowhere Rafer just slashed his neck. Jesus. He said with a knife. He said he went to the hospital to be treated for a minor neck injury and then filed a complaint at the police department. Obviously, his defense attorney, Rafer's defense attorney, Alberto Ebanks, said that witnesses told him that the man didn't appear to be injured when he left the club and never alerted police officers who were in the area. He said, why did he wait till he went to the hospital? Cops said that
because he has a fucking sliced neck.
Well, maybe he wanted to go. Well, this comes out. This is a weird thing, but it's so strange because you don't know who to believe because the Rafer's like got pals and it's in his hometown and it's
and neither of them should be there.
Neither of them should be. This is in the middle of the night, by the way. This is
50% on him.
This is in the 50-50 territory where you walk away with a slashed neck, holding your hand to it, nodding your head, going, "Yeah, I shouldn't. Yeah, that was. I know. I should have excited. I should. I know.
I've got kids.
I'm going to go to the. I'm going to get it stitched up. It's don't worry about it. Yeah, I shouldn't be here. I understand. That's
my wife doesn't even know. You're right.
What the fuck am I doing? Yeah. I don't know what's happening here. So I feel like that's what was going on here. Now, apparently the cops also said that he reported the incident after he drove himself to the hospital. Mm-hmm. His wife, Ashman is the guy's last name, his wife told the Daily News, quote, "I'm really upset about it. I can't believe it. I was like, oh my God, your throat," which, that's not a statement that you need to print. His wife was surprised and said, "Oh my God, your throat." Let me write that down. That seems, wow, that's a story, guys.
His wife said, "I didn't even know he was out."
That's the news. Yeah. He said, he's at where? He's not even supposed to be there. That's what he said. It's remarkable. She said also.
Well, that's 50% on him. He said the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. She said also that her husband was not available to speak, because of the throat injury. It's very difficult. Now, a bouncer at the club. Now, this is a club that Alston hangs out with in the town that he's from, and he's got a lot of street cred. And oh, by the way, Alston was there with his brother, who was
the felon, the guy with the guns.
Yeah, the guy with the. I mean, that's a long time ago, but still, if he's a neighborhood guy,
felonies kind of follow you, don't
they?
That's
the thing. He's still probably a certain type of dude who doesn't take shit probably from people. Also, that sort of thing here. Yeah, this guy says that Alston and his brother had words with a group of guys, but he said that no one was stabbed. The bouncer says he said, "quote I was in the middle of it. I walked Rafer and his brother out to their car. He didn't slash him." Mm-hmm. So I don't know. We don't know how to believe here. The guy he slashed is 41 years old, by the way, who should most certainly not be from Uniondale, Long Island, which means he's in from the Island, which he really shouldn't be there. Go back home. You're 41 and you're fucking married and you live in Long Island. You shouldn't be at Manhattan fucking night spots ever. That should never be in your fucking vocabulary. Go home.
Fucking 3-hour train ride in? Is that what that is?
That's ridiculous. No, it's not that far.
How far is that?
It's not far, but it's still, it doesn't matter.
And shit, I mean?
You live on Long Island. You should fucking
stay there.
Resign yourself to that fate and fucking stay there. On your anniversary, once a year, you and your wife are allowed to come into the city for a decent dinner and then get the fuck back over there to your shitty island. So, by the way, New York show in December, December 2nd, I believe. Please come to that. It's at the
Gramercy.
It's at the Gramercy. Come on in from Long Island. Make it your once a year. I had that plan.
Get a decent dinner and have a show.
Plan from the start. Come on.
Get the fuck out of here.
And then take it the fuck back across. So,
back on your ferry.
You know what it is. So, they said the Rockets reiterate that they take matters very seriously, and the Rockets expect all employees to represent the organization in a first-class manner. Until more facts are gathered from all parties, it would be inappropriate for me to comment further. I'm going to stall this out and hope it goes away. Maybe they'll drop the charges. Have a good one, everybody.
Love Rudy T.
Yeah, love Rudy T. Thank you very much. So he was arraigned on felony assault charges before being released without bail, his own recognizance, because people know who he is and they know where he's supposed to be at night, which makes sense. He's ordered to return to court January 3rd, and his lawyer says he is, quote, absolutely innocent, which no athlete should ever say in court because that's way too close to absolutely, positively, 100% not guilty, which is what OJ said, which means I absolutely cut that bitch's head off. We don't need that shit. So he's having a lot of fucking problems right now. He's out on bail, luckily for him. He's back home, which we know is a fucking bad sign. Right. And he's in New York, and he's got these charges pending, so he's hanging out in fucking New York.
Not good.
Not a good thing. No. It's terrible. He said at one point he's actually hanging out like out in the neighborhood that he grew up in and shit. This isn't good.
No.
You can't be fucking hanging out there. It's terrible. And at one point too, he's like, he goes down to the corner to just get some shit from the store, and he hears something from a building, and he looks over into the stoop, into the walkway there, and it's Estevez Jones, MMA fighter and 70s blaxploitation film villain, and he says, motherfucker, how is it you come to arrive here, you stupid ass what the fuck is wrong with you, man? I used to watch your ass. I seen you on the court when you was a little kid. I bet on your ass. You know, I made money from you. You understand what I'm saying? I like you. I wanted shit to go good for you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You had this dribble too. I admire this. I was jealous. You come up the court. You could dribble so good with one hand back and forth that you could you could come up the side of the court and just take your free hand and just paintbrush a bitch on the side for not having your motherfucking money when you beep your horn to check your traps. You know what I'm saying? That kind of shit. That kind of shit make me like angry because you had the talent to do it and you just being a stupid motherfucker. I'm very disappointed in you right now. But when you done playing, if you and your brother need some work, you come to me because I got some shit popping up. Oh shit, I gotta go now. I hear 5-0. I'm out. And a poof and a poof of cheetah and a gold chain,
purple mink.
He's gone and. Rafer's very confused. He's like, I've seen him in a movie from 1975 that my older brother made me watch. That's very, very odd, this man. And by the way, anybody who thinks the how is you've come to arrive here characters are racist stereotypes, they are. That's the point. They're stereotypes. Right. The whole point is they're so exaggerated, it's ridiculous. That's why I also do my grandmother, who is also an exaggerated, ridiculous ethnic stereotype. Right. Because it's true, and Bobby Colorado, and I would make them all Italian guys because that's my most fun to make fun of, but it's not quite as entertaining as different points of view from different people who come in, and I can't control who comes in to talk. Jimmy, can I? They come in and they leave. I leave the door open and
it's not our fault.
It's not my fault. I say someone show up, they pull a name out of a hat, and here they are.
There they go.
So 2007, 2008, in Houston, there's some blogger that's like a kind of a prominent sports blogger there, has a petition to remove Rafer, like from the team.
They want him gone.
They want him gone. They say that on October 4th, 2005, the Rockets made a rare personnel mistake. They traded Mike James, a key player on a playoff team, to Toronto for one Rafer Alston. This man, and Jesus Christ, They say this is like they're building a case. In the interim 2+ years, Mr. Alston has proceeded to amass the following statistics: 12.1 points a game, 6.7 assists per game in 05-06. Goes on to blah, 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 more stats. Of course, this did not take into account his badly timed turnovers in the fourth quarter, his continual regression into the skip to my Lou street ball persona alter ego when a simple chest pass would suffice. That's the whitest sentence I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Oh, I can already see.
I've never heard of would
So,
suffice.
Some fucking jerk.
Semicolon.
Yep.
He follows it with a semicolon.
Of course he does.
There is no whiter punctuation than a fucking semicolon.
This fucking jerk in an Oxford dress down
fuck him.
that lost money
No.
on the Rockets,
Eat
and now
dicks,
his
pal.
daughter has
Yeah.
crooked teeth forever.
He couldn't hit a free throw if you gave him 10 tries, and he's going to talk shit about basketball players. Fuck you. He also says his stunning inability to pass the ball to a man 7'5" who happens to be standing 5 foot away, a shooting form that is the basketball equivalent of Jeff Bagwell's batting stance.
Wow.
Who, by the way, has 500 plus home runs. Jeff Bagwell. It's a terrible example. Awful example.
This guy can't look.
Steph Curry shoots weird too.
Right.
Yeah.
This
awful,
guy
right?
can't look beyond Houston.
No.
Like he's even
He's a fucking
comparing
moron.
a baseball player in Houston.
That's what I mean.
Like fucking Bill Cartwright had an ugly fucking free throw too.
I don't
man.
like the way Earl Campbell ran in 1979. Like, what are you talking about? Fuck you.
Look beyond the horizon, sir.
But that year, he plays in all 74 of 74 games. He starts 13.1 points a game. He had 13.3 last year, so he's Mr. Consistency.
Well, this guy's throwing pork and beans cans around his fucking trailer.
He's yelling at his kids for not being as athletic either, even though they're the genetics that this man gave these poor fuckers. Why can't you jump? Because you suck, Dad. That's why.
Listen, Todd, I'll tell you why.
Because your calves look like Slim Jims. That's why you can't I can't jump. That's your problem, you asshole. So 13.1 points a game that year, 5.3 assists, 3.5 rebounds, and $4,550,000.
There's the man's
at
problem.
the bank right there. So not too fucking shabby.
All that money for nothing.
Not too bad. So much money.
Yeah, it is.
August 13th, 2008. He's due in court for an arraignment. Why? Because he has a drunk driving charge that happened the night before. He's arrested at 2:30 in the morning and released on a $500 bond. His agent didn't return a call from the newspaper here in this one article, and the Rockets also had no comment, obviously. Now, Rafer was pulled over, this is what the police say, for driving late at night without his lights on, and they said basically they pulled him over, and he got out, and they asked him if he'd been drinking, so he angrily made his case for being sober, that, no, I'm fucking sober, and they were like, okay, and then finally he gets super angry, lays down on the hood and puts his hands back and demands to be arrested.
Oh my God.
You arrest me now. You think I'm fucking arrest me then?
We will.
You goddamn arrest me. So they're like, all right. They just slap the cuffs on him. All right. You can't, if you ask the cops to arrest you,
they'll do it.
They'll do it. If they're suspecting you of something,
that's
and then
their
you
favorite.
go arrest me, they're like, all right, fuck it, I guess. I don't know. DUI, I mean, that's we'll just take you down and throw you in jail.
We
What do
don't
we
have
care?
to punch you. This is great.
You don't even have to be on something. We could just go, his eyes look glassy, and then we're fine to take you to jail and ruin your life.
Let's go.
That's allowed for some reason. I don't know why. So he's a man, demands, like I said, bends over the car, hands behind his back, and then refuses to speak with police officers until they arrest him. He said, I'm not saying another word till you put cuffs on me. Right. They were like, but sir, he's like, nope, not cuffs. Once they cuffed him, then he was like, okay, what do you need to know now?
Cuff me up and I'm a songbird.
There's a video, by the way,
really?
of this arrest. No audio, but you can see him being like, and then putting his hands behind his back. It's pretty fucking amusing. Got to be honest with you. It's pretty funny at 2:30 in the morning.
Jesus,
but at the same time, he didn't, I don't know if he's even drunk or not, and it's like, I don't know. I hate
arrest before body
over.
Cam with volume is fucking...
It's so difficult, man. I don't trust anybody.
It's a nightmare.
So October 28th, 2008, DWI court here.
Yeah.
In the closing statements, they had a trial for this bad boy.
Wowza.
No plea. His lawyer noted that Rafer told police that he had, quote, 3 or 4 drinks in an hour and a half, and then closed the Club Pandora that he was at.
Okay.
So he told him. So he said he had 3 or 4 drinks a while before that, and then closed down the club and blah blah blah. So he was saying he wasn't drunk. He's like, I'm not fucking drunk. I know that's not enough to get me drunk.
3 or 4 drinks is enough.
But I think it was over an hour and a half, and then there was another hour and a half after that. So who the fuck knows? But I mean, it could have been a half hour. You can't just believe it. Oh, that's all you. Okay, yeah, no, you're good. No, get back in the car. That would be everybody. No, I had 2 glasses of wine. She said she only had 2 glasses of wine, so it's fine. Everybody, never mind. We don't need these breathalyzers anymore. Just, we believe you.
I got pulled over and did a field sobriety. Right. Did a field sobriety test, and the cop comes up to my truck and goes, "You been drinking tonight?" And I was like, "I had 2 drinks." And he goes, "2?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "You know how many people told me that tonight?"
That's what I mean. That's the common. Had 2 drinks, because that sounds realistic.
Yeah.
No one has 1 drink.
Right.
I had half a beer. Right. Sure, you did.
Right.
But if you say 5, that's way too much. But 2 is like, that's enough to not make me drunk. But it sounds like I'm giving into something. Right. That's weak shit.
I got 2 drinks. He goes,
that's like,
I go, I don't. And he goes, that's every last one of them. He goes, get out of the truck.
That's the misdemeanor equivalent of, I didn't kill him, but I was there when he was. That's the misdemeanor equivalent of that. Like, I'll give you that, but I didn't pull a trigger. That wasn't me at all.
I did the field sobriety test and fucking passed it, and he sent me home.
Oh, nice. Well, good.
The nicest cop ever.
Nice job.
Thank you, sir.
Good for you.
Don't know your name. I'd give you a shout.
So, why did he pull you over in the first place?
Because I made an illegal U-turn.
Well, you're an idiot. That's your fault.
Because I was buzzed.
You know what? Your fault. There you go. So, good job passing it, though.
You know what? I didn't make an illegal U-turn. I made a 3-point turn.
Don't drink and drive, please, Jimmy. Jesus Christ.
I was fucking 20.
I understand this.
21. I was 21.
Fucking 17 years ago or something.
I made a 3-point turn in the middle of a road. So
yeah, you can't do that. You can't do
You look pretty. You look drunk.
That's
sir.
just in the middle of the night. That's just like, well, I'm bored, so I might as well pull that guy over.
2:30.
Yeah. Now, Hardin said that this is the lawyer Hardin. He tells the jurors that the only reason his lights weren't on was because it was a brightly lit area, and he has, like my car has an auto lights where you just keep it on that at all times. You turn it off, the car goes off. You turn it on, they come on. They're daytime running. Then when it gets darker, they turn into night lights. It's all fucking sensors. They said that he had this, but a valet that night where he was coming from had clicked it off.
Yep.
So he expected his lights to be on, and it was bright enough so he didn't notice that they weren't on, which I don't know how you don't notice, how you can't see your fucking dashboard.
Right.
Fucking
That's the key.
That's the key. But anyway, well, there's usually light on my face. No, it's not there. But he said,
I can usually see how fast I'm going. Right now I can't.
Yeah,
That's
I can't
weird.
see that. That's strange. But he also said that Alston was not intoxicated, and said instead was just the victim of miscommunication. That's all it was. He also said that Alston didn't overreact to questions posed by the arresting officer, and said that the player just locked up and refused to talk, forcing police to charge him because he didn't want, it was legal rights to not talk and whatever. So anyway, the jury takes an hour to find him not guilty of DWI, which I find amusing.
Lucky duck.
Knock is a 2-day trial, 2-day fucking trial, and an hour of deliberations to decide whether he had 3 or 4 drinks. It's fucking insane.
2 days out of his life to get out of that.
Out of everybody's life. Never mind his life. These jurors have nothing to fucking do with this asshole or anybody else, and they had to sit there for fucking 2 days for this shit.
Yeah.
Jesus, I'd be mad if I was on a jury.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him for
playing
getting.
through it.
If he wasn't
great.
drunk, good.
Yeah.
I mean, if he was drunk, well, he shouldn't have been driving. So anyway, it was they showed the video footage of him being interviewed by the police and arrested and doing all that. He hugged his attorney and was all very fucking happy. There's an alternate juror there that they talked to, a guy named Thomas Tran Park, who said that 6 of the jurors, who said he would talk about the verdict, even though a bunch of them didn't. This guy said, quote, "I could completely understand. I've been to Pandora. I had my car valet parked and the valet turned off my automatic lights. I wasn't intoxicated either." Okay.
Yeah.
How fucking lucky do you have to get where you get a fucking juror that is like, I've been to that club and the same thing happened to me, but was it that redheaded motherfucker? The same guy. It was the same guy.
He's like,
Rusty always turns people's shit off.
Overturn my case too. Can we get a podcast? Can we get a podcast started to get me justice?
Fuck. Was it Rusty Medina? So, Jesus. The prosecutor said he's disappointed by the verdict, but he respects the jury's opinion. Well, what else are you going to say if you're the prosecutor?
You lost.
Yeah. Fuck those people. You can't say that. So, 2008-2009 season, he is part of a 3-team trade. Really? The Rockets have had enough of the shit, and they send him to the Magic. Okay, 3-team trade between the Grizzlies and the Rockets and the Magic. Kyle Lowry's involved in this. Brian Cook, Donald Foyle, remember him? The old shitty Colgate power forward center. I don't know why I remember he went to Colgate.
Right?
From a bunch of teams. Why do I remember he went to Colgate? That's the weirdest thing to remember from like 20-year-old basketball guy who didn't matter at all. Wow, okay.
But he's the one that involved from the Magic in this.
Yeah, he is. And also a first-round pick, the Grizzlies. This shit's all thrown up into a big hat and thrown up in the air. Right. And you hold your hands out, whatever falls into your hands, you get. So the Rockets end up with, or the Magic end up with Rafer this year, and the Rockets end up with some other shit. Who cares? So that year, that's
the Magic post Shaq. He's already long gone.
Oh yeah,
at this point.
Christ, yeah.
This is a bad Magic team.
This is actually a good Magic team. They go to the finals.
Oh, you know, wait,
but it's just an aberration. There's shit, and then they go to the finals, get beat up by the Lakers, and then they're shit again. But this is when Dwight Howard was still something. That was their team.
Dwight Howard he was new then.
He was pretty new. Yeah, this was like his fourth year. I want to say something like that. His fourth year, third, fourth, or fifth year, somewhere in there. Turkoglu was on that team. I mean, this is not a JJ Redick. This is not a star-packed.
Good teams.
Yeah, but it's not like a star-studded, whatever team. But they somehow go. That's how weak the Eastern Conference was back then too. It was like, who's the sacrificial lamb this year to get slaughtered by the fucking West? So he ends up on Orlando this year. 12 points a game. Only plays in 29 games, and because it's a trade situation, he played in 48 in Houston. Starts 28 of 29 in Orlando. 12 points a game, 5.1 rebounds, 2.9 assists. But he's huge in the playoffs.
Really?
He comes up big in the playoffs, and he's kind of ends up being a huge spark in their playoff run, and just his energy, and he's kind of it turns into a big deal. He really does well. They win first round, they beat the Sixers. Second round, they beat the Celtics in a 7-game series. Then they go on to beat the Cavaliers in early LeBron times there, 4-2 also, and then they lose 4-1 to the Lakers.
That's a beating.
Who were pretty good. Yeah, that's a beating.
Good.
But I mean, they were terrible. That team that I just read off wasn't going to beat the Lakers from that era at all. But Rafer do whatever he wants because he's got $4.9 million dollars from this season alone, which is not too shabby at all. I would say I'll take that every goddamn time. June 25th. 2009, he is traded by the Orlando Magic with Tony Battie and Courtney Lee to the New Jersey Nets for Ryan Anderson and Vince Carter. So Vince Carter involved in this trade, which is interesting. Dwight Howard's pissed about the trade, by the way.
Really?
He's mad. He likes Vince Carter and all that, but he was mad that they lost Rafer.
He wanted Rafer.
He posted on his blog the day after the trade, quote, "Skip to my Lou helped us so much last season. He's a legend, man." 3 exclamation points.
Wow.
We wouldn't have gotten to the finals without you, Skip. So
how about this?
This dude, that's the thing about this dude. He has so much, even the guys who are, not like street ball guys, he has so much fucking respect from everybody because he plays in the NBA and he could ball anywhere on the fucking planet. Right. And just for basketball players, it's a certain thing, man. It's just that guy's a legend in that era. It's pretty fucking cool. Sure. But Rafer's cool with it. He's fine because he's going where? Home.
Jersey, you bet.
No, home. They play at the Meadowlands. He can live in his old house if he wanted to.
Boy.
Not that he would because now he's got a lot of money, but if he felt like it, if he wanted to.
For him.
Well, it's great for him, but he's breaking crime and sports rules all over the fucking place. He says, quote, "I'm excited not only to be with the Nets, but to be able to play in front of family and friends, and also the opportunity to help a franchise turn things around. I know we have a lot of young, athletic guys. That's one thing I stress to the coaches here, that I'm very excited to be on the court with a lot of young, athletic guys, although I'm getting old. Most people get down about a trade. I had the opportunity to get traded from a contending team to another contender. Now I have a chance to help a team turn things around." So he's ready to rebuild the Nets at this point.
It's a lot of positivity.
That's a lot of everything he says is positive. Even his apologies are like, "I'm real sorry. I didn't mean to fuck up." September 15th, 2009, charges are dropped against him in the assault case. Assault charges dropped. This is the nightclub slashing.
Right.
They're unable to prove a case. The prosecutor said they were unable to prove a case beyond a reasonable doubt in the assault and attempted assault assault cases, so they had to drop the charges. This is, of course, with the 41-year-old club goer,
Long
club
Island
stereo.
fella.
Yeah, the fucking bridge and tunnel guy over here. That's Jersey, but still,
Yeah.
the fuck back over
Close
there.
enough.
Get out there on your goddamn flat, shitty island. Enjoy. God damn it. So, godforsaken place. So,
is there a Ferris wheel out there? I'm sure there is.
I'm
right?
sure there's plenty of Ferris wheels. So the defense lawyer here, the charges were dropped because this is fucking funny here. The district attorney's not happy. They said, quote, while the victim suffered serious knife wounds, there are questions about where the victim was injured. So now they're saying they don't even believe if he was slashed there, if he went in the car and slashed himself.
Or maybe he got home and told the wife that he got his ass kicked.
Yeah,
and she was like,
let's put this together. 2 and 2, baby.
You think that was bad?
2 and 2 equals $4.9 million last year. Let's talk about this. So, this in Jersey too, he has problems though. Off the court, he's I can't wait. Jersey's great. Can't wait to be here. In the court, I guess he has a squabble with some players. He was but this is what they brought him in for. He's an older guy, you know, and he's been in the league 10 years at this point. You want a veteran, and he was questioning and yelling at some players, some of his teammates, about how hard they were playing or lack of effort from what he thought. So to me, if I'm a coach, I'm like, well, you don't fucking like it, try harder.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you know, the team leader's telling you to fucking, you know, if Michael Jordan said that to people, they'd go, what great leadership. What great leadership from him. Unbelievable. He punched a guy in the, he's punched people in the face in practice, and people are like, that's intense. He's intense. If Skip to My Lou did that, they'd be like, what a thug. What a thug. It's like, why? It's the same fucking thing. They have the same mentality of winning. It's all it is. It's
Who did Jordan
different
box
backgrounds.
at the USA training?
God.
I forget. I want to say, was it Karl Malone? No.
I don't think so. I think Karl Malone would have thrown him into the stands. I don't think you want to fucking pop Karl Malone in the face. He's just enormous.
I forget who he fought.
And muscular.
I'm blanking.
I can't remember either.
But he boxed somebody with fucking...
Who knows? I hope it was Leitner and his fucking stupid look on his face. That would have been great. I really hope it was Leitner.
With the fucking Warriors coach there. What was his name? God damn it.
Which, Don Nelson?
Was it Don Nelson? No, the other one. The guy that was the coach of the USA team.
No, moving on.
Whatever. Sorry.
I know exactly. I know what you're talking about. Chuck Daly?
Yes.
The Pistons coach.
Bang.
Chuck Daly.
Was he the Pistons?
Pistons, yeah, because they had won a few.
Coach.
Later. No, not later. No. But Chuck Daly, Pistons forever. They're both blue.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
All right.
So, we're trying.
Maybe that's my train of thought.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
It's
think they're
definitely
both
Chuck
blue.
Daly.
Flipper was not a Dolphin. No. They're both blue. It's Chuck Daly. So, it's fine. It's all good. So at this point here, with Jersey, he's having problems, so much so that he wants to get out of Jersey and negotiates a buyout of his contract to get out of New Jersey.
What a deal.
And January 7th, 2010, he's released by the New Jersey Nets. He signs a little deal with the Heat for the rest of the year, back to Miami, because they liked him down there. What the hell? In Miami, plays in 25 games. He's 6.6 points a game, which isn't that terrific. 2.9 assists, 2.2 rebounds. So not a wonderful end of the season in Miami, but he was averaging 9.7 per game in Jersey also. So not too great, but at the bank, as Dusty Rhodes would say, at the pay window, he did pretty goddamn well.
All right.
$5,053,133.
Wow.
It's a pretty good fucking year. That's combination salary from both teams. Added that up. That's
outstanding.
So there was a problem. If you noticed, I said he only played 25 games for Miami, and he came in January where there's way more than 25 games left.
Of course.
That is because in March, he disappears from the team. Poof.
Just walked out.
He's gone, takes off. He's not gone for a long time. He's only gone. They're like, why the fuck didn't he show up? What happened? He said later on that he was content with his decision to leave. He says, because they took away a starting job from him. And he said that's not what it was about. It was about his twin sister tried to commit suicide a few days earlier. Okay. So he left the team without telling anybody to be by her side, I guess. I don't know. He said
at least that's what he's telling.
That's what he's saying. Who the fuck knows? I mean, you can't. What are you going to say? Liar! Your sister's fine. I don't know how you would dispute that, but at the same time, you're like, I mean, you kind of have a job too,
right.
And she could probably use some help. And I could think of one way you could pay for that by your job.
I can also think of, I don't know, 9 other dudes that could use your help.
Yeah, but if that is true and he's the only person in the world, I mean, maybe he could have I don't fucking know. I don't know the circumstance, so you can't judge this. If he actually was trying to help a suicidal sister, then you can't ever fault him for that, obviously. That's nothing wrong with that. He says, quote, "The way I handled it was wrong. I didn't really tell team officials why I was leaving." He said he texted a team official and said he was going to Texas to be with his family. That's it. He didn't go in. You have to go in and talk to your coach.
Right. That'll do.
Yeah, that'll do. There you go. Going to Texas now. Okay.
I left a Post-it on the inside of my fucking locker. Why didn't anybody check?
That's the type of thing, too. I feel like if you went to your coach and said, yo, my twin sister tried to kill herself and this is a real family fucking problem and I really could use a couple weeks off to be with my family and we're trying to get her into a program and help her out and we're all trying to talk. I bet the coach would have been like, we'll work with you. You know, they're like that in sports.
They might even bargain with you and be like, how about 5 days?
Yeah, there's you're a member of the family kind of, and they kind of pretend to treat you that way at least, you know, while they wait for you to get injured so they can get rid of you. So he said that he was coping with his sister Racine's attempted suicide, and at that point the coach pulled him aside and told him he was being not only dropped from the starting lineup, but he was basically being moved to the end of the bench.
Uh-oh.
So he said he just took off after that with the suicide and the benching. It was just too much. He said, quote, "There was no argument or anything like that. I've never been a quitter and I still want to go back there and tell them face to face. But after I had a little time to think about the fact that I wouldn't be playing anymore, I felt the best thing for me was to be with my loved ones. I just knew if I've gotten on the phone and they said the wrong thing, voices would have been raised. I know myself. It would get bad."
Yeah, I'm a lunatic.
I'm a lunatic and I'm going to say some shit that I'm going to regret, even though I go into it saying, don't say some shit you're going to regret. I'm still going to fucking do it. So I got a problem. You know, that's pretty much what he fucking said. But you know, the Heat end up suspending him for the rest of the season for just walking out like that. You can't do that in sports, in professional sports.
You can't do that in any job.
They have money invested in you and shit like that. Career, and then, like you said, there's other guys that are, you know, they have plans.
They count on you.
You have to at least tell them, hey, don't put me in the plans tonight. Going to be in Texas. You know
how you got a game plan of how you plan to beat the Hornets tonight? Don't include me in
Don't include point guard in that situation because I won't be there for that. In his career, he played in 671 games. This is fucking impressive from, you know, from the playground here. 671 games, 28.9 minutes per game, 10.1 points per game. So he broke the 10 points a game, 2.8 rebounds, 4.8 assists per game.
That's great.
Great career. Even better, the money he stacked in his career. Boy. $28,129,531.
Shit.
Holy ballsack.
What a lucky ducky.
That
is so much money.
Fucking shabby.
Wow.
I have to say. That is not bad at all.
And now he owns an island somewhere and a helicopter.
I hope he saved his fucking money because he can just be like, this is great. I'll go play in the playground for the rest of my life and you guys can eat dicks, all of you.
I'll build my own playground.
No shit.
And then I'll fucking graffiti paint it and
do whatever I want to
buy
it.
all the rest of the And One clothing that's on our...
everything that's still left. Somewhere in some store. Does anyone still sell those? Do they still make And One?
I'm sure it's on Amazon.
Did you have any And One gear?
I had so much.
Really?
So much.
I had a navy blue pair of shoes that were very nondescript.
I had the red and black shorts that had the fucking guy on the knee. I had just plain black ones. I had shirts.
What kind of a douchebag were you, Jimmy? You were a douche back in the day. You know what? I'm going to give you a lot of credit because I've called you a douche, but you have come a long way. You're not even close to as douchey as the character you've described that was alive before I knew you.
My favorite outfit, James, my favorite outfit was a Carl Kanai shirt.
Oh, my God.
That was black and it said Kanai across the chest in white, and then the black and red and white fucking And Ones.
For the love of Christ.
With my fucking Airworm low top Nike shoes. All of it stolen.
God.
Every last piece.
God.
with Tommy Hilfiger boxer briefs.
Watching fucking UFC pay-per-views.
You're goddamn
Jesus
right.
Christ almighty.
Smoking pinners on my parents' back patio.
My God.
It was a very sad time.
Wow. That's amazing.
No wonder I got robbed at gunpoint.
Yeah, you probably, now that I think about it, you probably deserved it. I'm going to be pretty honest with you.
It was the kid in those clothes.
And the molesting, too.
Right.
Fuck you.
It was the kid in those clothes.
Nobody deserves to be, as we said, nobody deserves. People are going to be like, that's terrible. We talk to each other like this because we're like best friends, so we can say anything we want, and we'd say horrible things to each other, and it's just funny, and we rush right over it, so don't worry about it.
That kid clad in that uniform was laid face down on a pizza restaurant floor. Deservedly
You're lucky you didn't get shot, honestly. Because even a sane man would have been like, you see this motherfucker? Oh, fuck it, I'm putting one in the back of his head. I am putting one in the back of his head because this outfit's ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous.
Unbelievable. I was so 1998.
Jesus. So January 26th, 2011, Alston signs another contract.
Yeah.
So his sister must be feeling better. This time, though, it's with the Zhejiang Guansha of the Chinese Basketball Association. Well, it says CBA on my notes, and I'm like, that is certainly not the Canadian or the Continental Basketball Association. That is a way different league. So that's for the remainder of the season. But late February, it's reported that he leaves the team without permission to attend a friend's funeral, and the team thought it was unlikely that he'd return because he'd been injured and refused to see a doctor. So they're like, he's been injured, he hasn't been playing, refused to see a doctor, and then he just leaves to go to a funeral without telling us. This isn't great. So they tell him that you just stay over there.
Around the fucking world.
Just stay.
This isn't a fucking trip down the street.
So we're good now.
Yeah.
You stay where you are. Go home, and we'll just keep China where it is. He played 8 games for them. He averaged 19.2 points, 3.3 rebounds, 3.4 assists. So it seems like he wasn't passing as much. He's taking the ball to the rack. I feel fucking, it's funny too, because like, he should have been so much fucking okay. If he doesn't do the without the domestic assault, it's a much different case.
Yeah.
You're looking at this and you're going, he fucking got in a fight with some neighbors. Oh, who knows if they were mouthing off to him over the stereo. The thing in the nightclub is very shady. Yeah. I mean, the DUI, he was acquitted in court. So I mean, there's that. Right. There's all sorts of like gray area in a lot of this, and so I don't know. And also he's playing the way he plays too. I don't know, man. I just feel bad for poor Chinese people trying to guard him.
Yeah.
So they're like, what the fuck is this?
How does
this work? I mean, I do. I feel not nearly as bad as I feel, Jimmy. For Rafer Alston, a computer software professional, where in China, in Shenzhen City, this is not our Rafer Alston either. Okay. I feel like this guy just heard the name Rafer Alston in a basketball game and just fucking
changed it.
Just changed it. He's like, I'm Rafer Alston now. He is in the China computer software. He worked as a Linux program for Fujitsu for 2 years, so that's how I know it's not our Rafer Alston. He didn't. I don't think he was a Linux programmer. No. He's like, you know what, man? I'm tired of these strip clubs and this NBA lifestyle. You know anything about Linux?
You know what I could use? I could use a real nice decaf right about 8 a.m. and then program in Linux all day.
Community college with a good Linux course I could take around here because I'm really interested. No, that never fucking happened at all. Also, Rafer Alston, a 9th grader from Houston, Texas.
Oh, that poor kid
who plays basketball.
His parents named him after him.
This poor fucking kid.
I'll bet it was that blogger.
It probably was.
Yeah,
was
like, you know what? He was a good dude.
Damn it. He was. Now, August of 2011, Rafer is at Perfection Gentlemen's Club, which is a strip club, in case you wanted to know.
Perfection. Don't go to those ones.
This is July 2010. August 2011 is when it comes all public here.
Yep.
There's a guy named Eric Francischini.
Yeah.
He's 32 years old. Where's he from? Milford, Connecticut. Again, the fuck back to where you come from. This is in Queens. What are you doing in a strip club in Queens? Apparently, Alston is allegedly smashed this man in the head with a bottle during a dispute that started inside the strip club and spilled out into the streets.
Oh my God.
Alston was not involved in the fight in the bar. Apparently, it was a big bar fight. He wasn't involved. But this guy's lawyer says that everybody went outside. Members of his entourage were involved, and Alston, because he was fast and light on his feet, quote, unjustifiably assaulted and beat his client. Is what he said, which is.
Sounds to me like he found out that Rafer has $30 million.
Probably. The lawyer says, quote, my client had 12 staples in his head.
No.
He suffered a concussion.
He did not find out about millions of dollars.
No, he might have gotten hit in the head. Yeah, that's possible. The client, I guess the guy immediately filed a police report. Alston wasn't arrested, though, for some reason. But they all complained that an assault complaint had been filed against him, but they said it was sealed and could not give out any information. So this guy went to the police, filed a report, and they didn't even talk to Alston.
Wow.
They didn't even fucking ask him about it. The cops said it was sealed and we can't give you any more information. So in other words, we brushed that under the rug and we can't tell you any more about it.
Really?
They said
it's just all over.
Who knows? They just said it was a sealed complaint and they never served it and they were just like, sorry, not going to give out any more information.
Wow.
Because we don't have any. So that's kind of shitty there.
Yeah, that's shady as fuck.
Little silver-haired middle-aged action there. The lawsuit seeks unspecified damages. It says he lives in Boca Raton, Florida. Rafer, by the way.
Rafer now?
Yeah, he lived there. Then he did, and the guy also sued the strip club for letting it happen.
Yeah,
which fight spills out in the street. You got to break that shit up, man.
Come on. Happens.
2012, Alston signs with the Los Angeles Defenders of the NBA D League. The Defenders are now the South Bay Lakers, who are a G League team owned by the Los Angeles Lakers.
They're falling down.
And they went down. They're like a soccer team there. The Defenders here were the first. This is the first NBA franchise-owned D-League team. The Lakers started the Defenders as
now they're the G-Fenders.
Now they're the G-Fender. Now they're the South Bay Lakers.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Sounds like
because when you got a pun about the league you're in and you get moved, you got to fucking change your name.
D-Fenders, baby.
Yeah.
The D-League. Wow, that's really fucking sad here.
Stretch.
October 28th, 2017. What do you think happens?
Fucking Hall of Fame.
I think we know that's not it. Take a guess. What happens?
He got married.
No.
He had another baby.
It's professional.
No, it's professional.
Yeah.
He finished college.
No. Wasn't arrested. Oil. He wasn't arrested.
He found oil in his pants.
No, he did not find oil in Florida. He is hired as a scout by the Minnesota Timberwolves.
What?
Why the fuck? Okay.
What the fuck does he know?
I love the way you said it. What the fuck does he know? That was the most honest you've ever been on the show.
What the fuck?
That was the most genuine question you've ever asked me. What the fuck does he know?
I know as much about basketball as he does.
One thing, if you go to kids, he might have some street cred, possibly. If he's got some kids from tough areas, he might be the scout that goes to kids in the shit neighborhood where he could be like, yo, I'm Skip to my Lou. Here's my mixtape. You got is there a VHS player in this joint? No?
Is there a VHS tape for this motherfucker?
We'll see if it's on YouTube. Maybe Vimeo. I don't know. We'll find out. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Anybody got a fucking VHS? So, so he's hired as a scout. As far as I know, he still works as a scout for the Timberwolves. I'm not sure.
What a terrible choice.
That seems odd. It was less than a year ago, so I hope he still held the goddamn job.
Yeah.
Can't get enough of Rafer Alston? Well, you can go to ecrater.com and get a signed 8x10 picture of him dribbling a basketball.
Not even eBay?
Not even eBay. No. There's some shit on eBay. This was just cheaper.
What is eCrater? The internet fucking shithole of things in the...
I don't know what if I've never heard of it before.
Here's a hole in the earth. We're going to pull some sports memorabilia out of it.
I'm not sure if you should put your credit card information into it or not. I'm not sure. Use PayPal possibly. They might be a great company that I just don't know anything about. So I don't know.
Don't link
take
your
my
credit
word for
card to your PayPal buying shit from them.
$14.99 plus $6 shipping. $6 for a piece of for a photograph, which seems a little steep.
$6 to mail that?
Boric-customs.com.
Give them your information even less.
I don't know what that is. You can get a Fresno, like a knockoff Fresno State jersey, home or away, number 11, Rafer Alston, for $36.99.
That's coming from China.
That's something is shady there. And if you want to go to get a shirt that you can actually put your information in with confidence, you can go to Redbubble, which is a legitimate shirt site. They have a Skip to My Lou t-shirt.
Awesome.
Which is pretty fucking badass.
Yeah.
It's like the words are going down like Skip to My Lou, and it's got like a picture, it looks like a Tupac shirt.
Bitchin'.
Like it looks like a fucking like a 90s like rap Tupac shirt. It's actually pretty fucking badass.
I like it already, and I haven't even seen it.
You can get that there at Redbubble, and that, my friends, is Rafer Skip to My Lou Alston.
What a story.
And his tale of coming from a place where you just want him to succeed and just fucking it up at every pass. Just fucking it up at every pass.
What do you think that those lawsuits and stuff cost him over his life?
So much. That's what I mean.
I mean, in time, in money.
In time. Lawyers.
It's ridiculous.
He could have been.
Just hold it together.
Just don't go to the strip club.
I'll bet it's $2 million out of his pocket.
It's
just
got to be.
All that shit.
And I don't get it, because if you're going to spend that much money anyway, go have a private something. It's like, say I'm going in a back entrance and we're doing a private thing, and I don't want to deal with people, because if someone bumps into me, then my brother's going to have to stab him in the neck or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know.
I'm fucking crazy. I won't even call my coaches when I'm mad.
No, I'll just leave.
Fuck a stranger.
I'll just leave, and that's what I'm saying. So I don't know, man. Stay out of the fucking strip clubs. What is wrong with? How many times over? I would love somebody, if you had all the time in the world, if someone's like recovering, like in a body cast, and they can only just write shit down a little bit on their phone or something. Yeah. You listen to every Crime and Sports episode. I'd like to know how many incidents occurred at strip clubs that resulted in lawsuits and or arrests.
It's too much.
It's fucking uncountable. I bet it's hundreds. I literally bet it's over 100 times we've talked about this exact thing happening.
Wait until this shit's over. Wait until this podcast is done, and that number is going to go infinite.
It's going to go way up.
It's ridiculous.
Way the fuck up. By the way, folks, next couple weeks we have some big ones coming up here. We have a bunch of murder next week.
Great.
A whole bunch of murder happening. An NFL player who was a murderous son of a bitch. Very, very murdery. So if you want to hear some crazy fucking murder story, I put up a light one this week. I mean, domestic assault isn't light, but smacking a guy in the head in a strip club and some fucking Guido from Milford, Connecticut, or some fucking Long Island guy. Whatever. It's a light, fun, whatever. Next week's murder, so it's going to get dark and twisty and pretty fucking fun.
Oh, boy.
And we have some wild ones coming up. People have asked us, what wrestlers are you doing? We got Scott Hall is going to be our next wrestler.
Fantastic.
So you know that's going to be a fucking crazy episode. I had to pick between him.
He's still drunk, isn't he?
Oh, well, now, right this minute, he's okay. But he's had about 5 million good now, no, I'm not good now, no, I'm not in the last 20 years. I'm not even bullshitting. So who knows? Tune in next week and we'll find out.
Still got that curl.
Oh, God.
Hanging down his fucking face.
And a New Jack, of course, on there.
Oh, yeah.
Which is another tough one because, God damn it, it's just impossible not to like the fucking guy. It's just one of these guys you can't.
Works hard.
And you don't want to talk shit because he'll stab you.
Right.
So it's another guy you should be very careful
committed.
about. He's very committed because that's, not really a character so much. But thank you guys so much for listening again this week. Most of all, if you want to be a help out to the show, you can do that very, very easily by going over to everywhere. Jesus, shutupandgivememurder.com. You can follow the links to patreon.com/crimeandsports where you can donate money to us, or you can go over to PayPal, use our email address crimeandsports@gmail.com. Maybe you want to find us on Twitter at Crime and Sports, Facebook, Crime and Sports on there, at Small Town Murder on Instagram because we use that because it's more popular. Sorry. So if you want to do any of those things, do that. Buy merch. Buy tickets to our goddamn live shows. Houston and Seattle and Phoenix especially, because those are weak sellers right now. So buy those tickets, goddammit. Now, they're not weak sellers, but they're just big venues, so we need to sell them.
Huge.
They're huge. So please get in there and buy those and all of that shit. But I would like you right now, because there's a group of people who are the most spectacular people in the world who keep this show running and really keep us in business. And I believe you have the list, Jimmy. I think you should hit me with it. Why don't you do that right now?
This week's executive producers are Lori Mercich.
Right off the bat.
Milsich?
Out of the gate strong.
How could I do that?
You're a thoroughbred,
I can't tell
Jimmy.
if I wrote an R or an L. I'm pretty sure that's an L. So I'm saying Lori Milsich. Chrissy-Ann Castaldi, of course.
Thank you, Chrissy, as always.
Amanda McPhail up in Seattle. She's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Kyle Gross and Danria. Danria is his friend. I think she's friends with me on Snapchat.
Bullshit. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Goddamn.
Kevin Alker, Aaron Hammond. What? Aaron Hammond, Joseph Minner, Meg Smith in Detroit, and Melissa Coyle. Thank you guys so much for being such fantastic people.
Yeah, honestly, Jesus, you guys don't even know.
You make the world
the life's
spin.
blood.
That's real.
It's crazy. Thank you so much, really.
Ashley Vio, Jesse Hartman, Kate Myers donated both ways.
All those, they're all great. All
Justin Miller, Matthew Dietrich, Jess Herrera, Shannon Feltus. Again, she came through.
Yeah.
Jessica Manor, Michael Shanahan. I don't know. know. Maybe. Could it be?
Could it be the eyes too close together? Ex-Bronco Redskin head coach? Maybe.
That would be amazing. Sarah Reichert, Michael Carfunkel. Yes. Ariana Folsom, Justin Miller. I think I said that earlier. No, I didn't. That's a different Miller. That was Joseph Minner. That's what that was.
Jesus, that's close.
Jamie Parshall, Lauren Demarath, Nathan Nolte, Paul Ruest, the guy that makes the memes.
Thanks, Paul.
He's fantastic. Travis Granberg, Kate Ives, Bryant Toole, Nina Jorenstad? Yes.
Hey.
Nina Jorenstad. Moto
bad.
Fab. I don't know what that is. Google them and see if you can give them business.
Yeah.
William McGuffrin? Yes. William McGuffrin. Stacy Rushworth. That's what it is. Sarah Rush. Melissa Allen and Hiccup. That's right. Oh, they're in L.A. That's the gal that came to the show. Her dog's name is Hiccup. That's what it is.
Ah, yes.
I wrote that. I don't know if she put that in there, but I know I wrote that. And I can't read. Mariva Bone. Mariva Bone. That's what it is. Amy Walge. Amy Walge. Jillian Tuba, yeah. Mason Sipes, Jake LeBeer, Andrew Paulson, Kiko Omar White Jr.
Nice.
That's a healthy name.
It's a good one. Yeah. It's got a lot of names. Saving some for later.
Ethan Lowry, Hannah Marmaro, Liz Nice Slice Smith.
Cakes.
Maybe I don't know what she's bragging
best
about.
Best pies in town. I don't know.
Maybe
what's happening. Or she'll cut you.
She's bragging.
Maybe,
though.
Yeah. Who knows?
Liz Nice Slice. Wendy Drinkwater. Ola Cernica.
Yeah.
You nailed it.
It's
Good
an
work.
Italian name. That's why. What's the first name?
Ola.
Ola. Okay.
Ola.
Yeah.
And CZ. Is that Italian?
CZ is not.
Okay.
There's other versions of that name.
Whatever.
It sounds similar. Never mind.
Walt Murray, the PI, I believe.
CZ is like Polish and shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Or Czech or some shit.
Eastern European.
I always go Czech because that's a CZ. Baby.
Yeah, Eastern European somewhere.
Ethan Lowry, Oli Gray, Steve Schnell in Philly.
Scientist, heavy metal scientist.
Fantastic.
He's awesome.
Jeff Dalkey, Danae Ryu. She could be Ryu.
That sounds like a right winger for Montreal. Fucking
Danae Ryu, Kira Mitchell, Chris Kirby, Serena Daughter, Josh Cooperman, Cody Spence, Angela Jackson, Brittany Bell, Grantham Williams or Grantham. It's probably Grantham, huh?
Maybe.
Grant Ham. It could be Grant Ham.
Grantham. That sounds good. Grantham sounds like a cool black college.
Yeah, it does.
It's like a really good black college, like where Dr. Huxtable went.
I could see that.
He went to Grantham.
Yeah,
it's a good school.
Or it's like hard-nosed fucking football school.
Either one.
We go to Grantham.
Yeah.
You can fucking bring your team down here? Yeah. I don't think you will.
Grambling State beats them up every year.
Lil Buckaroo. I forget who that is. I don't either. Kay Overbay. Stephanie Slaza. Paula Salamana. No. Salamanca, that's what it is. Yeah, Paula Salamanca. That's Italian.
Better. That's
Italian as fuck.
Yeah, I like it.
Zoe Suntimer, Martin Coronado had some questions for us. I think I answered them pretty well, and we'll see. He'll write back, I'm sure.
If not, we'll figure it out.
Krista Bernhard or Bernard. It's probably Bernard. Yeah,
maybe.
I don't know. Anthony and Kelly Scallarud. Anthony and Kelly Scallarud are getting married. I think that's what they said.
Well,
or
congratulations.
it's their anniversary, or they're celebrating something.
Well,
so,
either way, congratulations.
Good for the two of you.
Or they're getting a divorce, whatever. As long as you guys are happy, we're excited for you.
That's what matters to me. Thank you guys so much for everything you do for us. We truly cannot do this without you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Honestly,
amazing.
We cannot thank you enough for everything you do for us. Mm-hmm. It means the world to us, and it blows us away every time. So thank you. Just amazing. And Jimmy, what if they wanted to tell you that you were amazing or not amazing or anything at all? What could they tell you?
You can tell me mostly the bad things at Wisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Thank you guys so much for everything you send me and for the gifts that you guys send us in the mail.
They're amazing. Thank you so much, guys.
Incredible.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
What about you?
Oh, you can find me at Jimmy P is Funny. You could do that, or just copy and paste my name from the show description, because you're not going to be able to spell it. And really, honestly, why try? We don't have the time to learn long Italian last names. Get your shit together. I didn't learn it till I was fucking 5.5. It was a difficult journey. You don't need to do it. So
you're just going to write rigatoni.
You're just going to write, you're just going to write Pinot Grigio and move on. So just stop it. It's not pomegranate. It's fine. So that said, thank you guys so much. And live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.